the Dogs have come up and are really ready to play.
20, 15, 10, 5, tiptoes into the end zone. Stands the pocket, throws to the far sideline, and big! Oh, I can't believe he caught that!
Between the hedges and across the state, this is where the Dogs play.
Well, the morning freeze has thawed. Bright sunshine and warmer temperatures have settled over Athens for the 107th meeting of Georgia and Georgia Tech. Both teams enter today's contest with records of 9-2. Tech will move on to play in the ACC championship game. Georgia will not advance to the SEC title game by virtue of Missouri's win over Arkansas on Black Friday. So today will serve as the Bulldogs' championship opportunity. Win the state championship by beating Georgia Tech for the 6th consecutive year and for the 13th time in the last 14 meetings. Dogs and Jackets, clean, old-fashioned college football today between the hedges right here on the Bulldogs Sports Network from IMG.
Welcome to BB&T Countdown to Kickoff on the Bulldogs Sports Network from IMG. BB&T, sharing knowledge for a brighter direction. Today's show is also brought to you by Georgia Farm Bureau Auto Insurance. Contact them at gfb.org. And by Texaco with Techron, driving performance. Kickoff is almost here. We'll rejoin Scott Howard and Eric Zier after this timeout. Welcome back to the BB&T Countdown to Kickoff. Now let's unlock the keys to the game. Brought to you by Ford. Georgia and the Ford F-150 will make a believer out of you. See your local Ford dealer today. Proud sponsors of Georgia football. Once again, here's the voice of the Bulldogs, Scott Howard.
BB&T's Countdown to Kickoff. Welcome back to Athens, Georgia, between the hedges on a glorious November autumn afternoon. Well, it'll be afternoon shortly. Georgia Tech on the field, huddling up. Georgia has already headed into the locker room. They've got senior day ceremonies coming up here momentarily. Head coach Mark Richt and the team exiting the field a little sooner than they normally do. Right now it's time for the Ford Keys to the Game, brought to you by your local Ford dealer. And Eric Zier's got our keys today. Z.
Well, Scott, imperative today that we win the one-on-one battles defensively. Everybody talks about assignment football against the triple option. While that's true, even if we're in the right positions, that alone doesn't guarantee success. We have to have the ability to get off blocks, win those battles, and then when we do, the first man of the ball carrier has got to be sure in his tackling, no yards after contact, because if one guy misses, this Georgia Tech offense can take it to the house. On the offensive side of the ball, have to protect the football. We've been great all year, but today it will be at a premium once again. This Georgia Tech defense, second nationally with 6 defensive touchdowns, and they lead the FBS with 5 interceptions returned for a touchdown. And in a game that you expect to have a lot of points scored, possessions are going to be at a premium. You can't give up anything cheap to this Georgia Tech offense. Defensively, again, have to get off the field. Georgia Tech converting on 58% of their third downs. That leads to a dominating time of possession of nearly 34 minutes per game. And against this defense, they're going to be, or against this Georgia Tech offense, we're going to be in a number of third and short situations. Have got to find a way to limit first downs. And then finally, have to start fast. There was kind of a cloud of disappointment driving in to Athens today as Missouri was able to win yesterday. We weren't able to get the luck that we needed from Arkansas to propel us into the SEC championship game. I don't expect that's going to have much of an impact on the game if we start fast. If we don't, all those what-ifs can start playing around in the player's mind.
All right, those are your Ford keys to the game. Georgia and Georgia Tech, the 107th meeting in the series. As the Redcoats come out of the tunnels and onto the field for the pregame ceremonies, we'll jump into a timeout. This is the BB&T Countdown to Kickoff. Back in a moment on the Bulldogs Sports Network from IMG. This is the BB&T countdown to kickoff. 27 seniors will be recognized here momentarily in the pregame ceremonies. Georgia trying to win its 23rd of its last 24 home games here at Sanford Stadium. We'll continue with more of our BB&T countdown to kickoff in just a moment. We'll check in with Chuck Dowdle on the field and find out what Coach Mark Richt has to say before today's game. We'll pause right now for these words on the Bulldogs Sports Network from IMG. Scott Howard back with you here at Sanford Stadium. Eric Zier here in the booth and Chuck Dowdle down on the field. And Chuck, once again, I'm so glad we have this time together just to have a laugh or get an update on Coach Mark Richt as he went into the locker room. What do you got to say?
Well, obviously went in a little early today. Everything's off time today because of it being senior day. And clearly that's on the hearts and minds of all these seniors here, not only on the Georgia football team, but the Red Coat Marching Band, the cheerleaders, everybody, as they perform for the final time here between the hedges. And I asked Mark about that. I asked Coach Richt about, is it emotional for him too? And he says, I love college football. He says, I love these kids, and I love what they've given to the University of Georgia. And he said, you better believe it's emotional. And then I asked him, too, about Georgia Tech and that offense, and everybody talks about that offense. And he says, you know what? The defense, too. He says, never forget that Georgia Tech defense. And he says, all defenses are tough until you start to take care of your business. And that's in the game plan today, is for the Dogs to come out here and take care of business. But obviously now with the SEC picture now clear, and it does not include Georgia next week. What does include Georgia is a win here, finish strong, 10-2, and put themselves in excellent position for a very nice bowl trip.
Yeah, exactly. And you're playing a top 20 team, so a win today would certainly be impressive. It would definitely be a quality win, and you just want to position yourself as best you can to get that bowl invitation and finish as high as you can in the numbers.
Yeah, no question about that. And you know what? I get the feeling that this team, all week long, Coach Richt was not allowing them to talk about that Missouri-Arkansas game. He didn't want them even thinking about it if possible. Obviously, you're not going to be able to, maintain that because those kids they're going to be interested. But he has had them focused strongly on Georgia Tech today. I expect a strong performance out of this Bulldog team today. When they come out there and they look across the line of scrimmage and it's that gold and white, you're going to hear, we talk about it all the time, but you're going to see firsthand what we're always talking about, clean, old-fashioned hate.
All right, Chuck, thanks very much. We'll be checking in with you when we get a little bit closer to kickoff for the Georgia's own Credit Union coin toss. And our referee today, by the way, is Matt Moore, and our replay official will be Gerald Hodges, and we'll see how much of a factor those two gentlemen are. 27 student-athletes being recognized today on Senior Day for the Georgia football team. Among them, David Andrews, Mark Beard, Michael Bennett, Chris Conley, Watts Dantzler, Zach DeBell, and Ray Drew, Michael Erdman, Adam Erickson, Merritt Hall, Marlo Herrera, Colton Houston taking part in the activities today, although he reportedly will apply for a 6th year of eligibility. Toby Johnson, Kyle Karimpolis, Jack Lunam, Tristan Askew, Hudson Mason, Taylor Maxey, Corey Moore, A.J. McDonald, Lucas Red, Jonathan Rump, Damian Swan, Mike Thornton, Costa Vavlis, Xavier Ward, and Ramik Wilson. Those are your 27 Georgia players that will be out to greet their families here momentarily on Senior Day. Georgia and Georgia Tech coming up. This is the BB&T countdown to kickoff, and we're doing just that here on the Bulldogs Sports Network from IMG.
Another Saturday.
What a crowd. You should see the bridge by the stadium.
Another chance to write the next chapter of a storied history.
Dogs on top.
Vince Dooley's 18th Georgia team won the Southeastern Conference.
Oh, my God! A touchdown in the corner.
Between the hedges and across the state, this is where the dogs play.
Trying to pull away from another. He does. There goes Chubb.
He gets behind people. You can't catch him.
Toss it to God high left side. Oh, we hit him up. There's the punt. We block it. It's Marshall Long.
He gets into the open field. It's just not fair.
Handed to Hurdy. Fumble. Georgia's got the ball. Touchdown.
This is the Bulldogs Sports Network from IMG. Today's game is brought to you by Aaron's. Aaron's helps you own it. You're pre-approved. Choose from top name brands. No credit needed. By Associated Credit Union, Southwest Airlines. By BB&T, sharing knowledge for a brighter direction. Member FDIC. By your local Sherwin-Williams. Painting questions? Ask Sherwin-Williams. Cook's Pest Control and the Centricon System, the unbeatable combination for termite protection. Regions Bank, the official bank of the SEC. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Reese's, perfect. Georgia Power, proud to power the Georgia Bulldogs. By SunTrust, take the next step toward financial well-being. SunTrust, how can we help you shine? By Nature's Own, the official bread of UGA. Texaco with Techron, driving performance. And by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. Now, alongside former All-American quarterback Eric Zier, here's the voice of the Bulldogs, Scott Howard.
Seniors being announced here at Sanford Stadium. Temperatures warming up from 28 degrees earlier this morning when we got started here on the air to 48 right now. We're headed into the 50s, so a nice day ahead. And we'll continue with our BB&T countdown to kick off with the Georgia Power starting lineups on the other side of this timeout here on the Bulldogs Sports Network from IMG. Back on the BB&T countdown to kickoff here, your Georgia Power starting lineups brought to you by Georgia Power. Proud to power the Bulldogs. Georgia's probable starters on offense. John Theus and Colton Houston are the tackles. Brandon Cublano and Greg Pike are the guards. And David Andrews is the center. Two of those gentlemen are seniors, Andrews and Houston. The tight end, Jeb Blazevich, a freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina. And then a three-receiver set would be Michael Bennett, Malcolm Mitchell, and Chris Conley. Two of those guys are seniors, Conley and Bennett. And you've got Hudson Mason, a senior quarterback, Nick Chubb, a freshman tailback. On the defensive side, it looks like this. Toby Johnson, Mike Thornton, and Ray Drew across the front. Seniors, all three of those gentlemen. The linebackers, Amarlo Herrera, Ramik Wilson, Jordan Jenkins, and Lorenzo Carter, we are told, into the starting lineup today. Wilson and Herrera, the seniors from that group. And the secondary for Georgia today would be Malcolm Parrish and Aaron Davis are the corners. Dominic Sanders and Quincy Mauger are the safeties. And in a five defensive back formation, Damian Swan gets the star position, and he's the lone senior of that group. That's your probable starters today for the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia and Georgia Tech are coming up here on the Bulldogs Sports Network from IMG. All right, Georgia Tech out of the locker room. Georgia lining up to run out by the Granite Bulldog to our right to run between the red coat marching band and onto the near sideline where the 27 seniors are waiting to be the captains for today's ballgame. Chuck, we've definitely got more captains than Tech. It's time for the Georgia's own credit union coin toss. It's your future on it. I'm going to toss it right down to you.
Yeah, we win the captains. We win that, okay? That's right out of the gate here. We're waiting for the dogs to take the field, so it'll clear a path here for the captains to come out for the coin toss. Governor Deal is out here with Matt Moore, who is our referee today, and they are waiting patiently. And now referee Moore signaling for both teams to send their captains out. The Jackets with three coming out, led, of course, by Justin Thomas, their quarterback. Boss Andrews leading the core of dogs, the seniors that are stepping up here. And I'm going to get in here now with the governor and with Matt Moore and let you take it. Here, Matt Moore.
Number 14, Hudson Mason.
as soon as they finish shaking hands.
Hey guys, the honorary captain today is the governor of your great state, so we're glad to have him here today. Georgia Tech, you're the visitors. I've got a silver dollar here. That's a head, that's a tail, okay? Head and a tail. I'm gonna flip it. I want you to call it. If I drop it, we'll flip it again, okay? What are you gonna call?
Tails.
What do you call?
Tails.
He called a tail. It is a tail. Georgia Tech has won the toss.
You go defer.
You can defer. You want the football?
Yes.
Which way do you want to kick it?
Kick this way.
All right, turn around. Put your backs over there. Georgia, put your backs over here.
Governor, was that done right?
It was done absolutely right.
Good. All right, we've got the governor's approval. That's a good thing. Tech, of course, deferring. The Dogs will kick off, and they will be kicking to the east. Georgia will receive, but they'll receive to the east. So that's the way it shapes up here. And what can I tell you? Time for some clean, old-fashioned hate. Scott, what do you say? Let's get it on.
Let's do it. Let's get it on right now as Georgia breaks out of the huddle. And we've got a handful of players kneeling down in the end zone to our left before we get started, as Georgia will be in home red today. Red jerseys, red hats, silver breeches. Georgia Tech is all in white as far as the uniform is concerned. The helmet is gold, but the jerseys and the pants are white. The numbers are navy blue. We'll be set for action here in just a couple of seconds as Georgia's kick receiving team will head out onto the field. Isaiah McKenzie headed towards the end zone. He'll be the deep receiver off to our right. So in the east end zone in the configuration here at Sanford Stadium. And it'll be Georgia Tech kicking it off with Harrison Butker teeing the ball up on the 35-yard line on the near hash mark. And he'll be kicking from left to right when the officials turn us loose. Bright sunshine here. Folks still filing in. At this point, every seat is not full here at Sanford Stadium, although the game is, I believe, officially a sellout. Although I think Tech returned some of their tickets. But hopefully Georgia scarfed those up quickly. And folks still trying to find their place for this early kickoff. 12:01 start, as early as you can possibly start for college football nowadays. So some folks are still late getting to their seat. But here's Harrison Butker ready to kick it away. And Isaiah McKenzie 5 yards deep in the end zone ready to return it. Here's the kick, and we are underway. It's going to sail very deep in the end zone. McKenzie will catch it on the very back line of the end zone and take the touchback. And Georgia will have the first possession of the game, 1st and 10 on the 25-yard line. Let's pause for station identification on the Bulldogs Sports Network from IMG. Dogs huddling up at the 20-yard line. Tech's defense out there, and Georgia ready to go. Bulldog football brought to you by Athens Regional Health Systems. Athens Regional for the fans. Georgia will open up in the Wildcat with Nick Chubb taking a direct snap. He's going to take it and run to the near side as Hudson Mason lined up at receiver the far side of the field. Chubb to the near side to the 31, maybe the 32-yard line, hit by DeMond Smith and P.J. Davis, the linebackers. And Chubb on the first play gets 6 yards out of the Wildcat.
Yeah, good start there for the Dogs. Immediately we send Hudson Mason out wide. You expect Nick Chubb here to get a lot of carries in this football game. And the Dogs try to control the clock and keep this Georgia Tech offense off the field.
Pump fake Mason to the right, throws it back left to a screen to Chubb. He got a block. Chubb to the 40, Chubb to the 50. Chubb tripped up from behind in Tech territory. Down, sliding on the turf at the Tech 45. Brandon Cublano had a key block for Chubb that sprung him a little bit. P.J. Davis made the tackle for Georgia Tech, but all the way down to the Tech 45-yard line. And a gain of 24 yards on the play. Here's Chubb again running straight up the gut. Chubb breaking a tackle at the 37. keeping his feet and driving down to the 33-yard line of Georgia Tech, tackled by Patrick Gamble, the nose man. But the Dogs are moving the sticks here on this first possession down to the 33-yard line.
Boy, up-tempo as well. Nice little mixture there, running pass, a lot of different looks. The play before that last run, just a screen pass. Good sell by Hudson Mason to get the flow of the defense going the other way.
12-yard gain on the last play. Throw it to Malcolm Mitchell, wide out to the right side. Mitchell working his way down inside the numbers, down to the 20-yard line. On the pass reception, Damon Smith making the stop for Georgia Tech. Ball on the 20, 13 more yards, and another first down for Georgia. The Dogs are moving quickly here. We're not even 90 seconds into the ball game. Georgia lines up in the Red Baron red zone. Get a Red Baron pizza before the next game. Get a taste of the tradition. Play fake, Mason. Throw it to Mitchell to the near side. Tech reads it well, and they will make the stop near the line of scrimmage with the free safety, Jamal Golden. Maybe even a loss on the play of a yard. Back to the 21-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 11. On a loss of 1 on the throw to Malcolm Mitchell.
Yeah, 2 plays in a row. We go bubble screen there. You can see us trying to stretch the field horizontally right now, make this defensive line and linebackers run for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Outside of that last play, it's just been one gash after the next.
Here's Chubb, going to run it to the near side. Got a block from Blazevich. Chubb to the edge. They grab his leg at the 13. He keeps driving down inside the 10-yard line. Isaiah Johnson, the strong safety from Tyrone, Georgia, senior for Georgia Tech, makes the tackle at the 9-yard line. And Chubb's going to get the first down. It should be 1st and goal. It is at the 9-yard line for the Dogs. He got 12 yards on that carry. Chubb will take it again, this time running between right guard and right tackle, and they'll stack it up near the line of scrimmage. Chubb couldn't find a crease on the right edge there, and Tech will stop it, maybe a gain of a half yard. Adam Gotsis, Patrick Gamble, defensive lineman, on the stop, clogging up the hole for the Georgia Tech defense. It's 2nd and goal from the Yellow Jacket 8. We're just underway here, first quarter. 12-12 on the clock, and Georgia threatening already.
Boy, the Dogs right now really doing a good job of effectively attacking the edges of this Georgia Tech defense, whether it be through the run, getting on the edge, or through the quick bubble screens outside.
Mason gives it to Chubb. Chubb with a gap on the right side of the line of scrimmage gets to the 5 before Tech converges on him to make the stop on the freshman running back. So a gain of a couple, maybe 2.5. Houston and Andrews with some blocks over there to try to give Chubb a little bit of running room, but now it's 3rd and goal from the 5.
And a big play here for the Dogs. We talked about in the pregame, when you get into the red zone, you want to get 7 points on the board. You know this Georgia Tech offense is explosive. You don't want to get down to this territory and come away with only 3 points.
4 receivers in. Now we flare Chubb out to the near side. Mason looks right. He throws it to Malcolm Mitchell. He makes the catch at the 1-yard line. They ripped the ball out of his hands there, but he was already down. He didn't get in the end zone. It's 4th and goal from the 1.
Boy, the Dogs not even thinking about it right now. They are lining up, and they're going to go for it again. They know the importance of getting touchdowns in these situations.
Handoff, Chubb walks into the end zone. Chubby time. 3 minutes into the game. Yes, sir.
Boy, what a great job there by David Andrews and Brandon Cablano up front. It just completely dominated their guys up front. Nick Chubb walking that into the end zone. You couldn't have scripted it any better for the Georgia Bulldogs on the first drive of the game.
Well, he didn't even have to run hard into that end zone for that 1 yard.
No, just waltzed in there. Colton Houston, a good block on that play as well.
The touchdown brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book now only at southwest.com. And Marshall Morgan with the point after. Icing on the cake, extra point brought to you by Tasty Cake. 7-0 Dogs early in the first quarter. Timeout. Back in a moment. Bulldog Sports Network from IMG. Nick Chubb with his 14th touchdown of the year for Georgia. The Dogs go 75 yards, 10 plays, a 1-yard rush by Nick Chubb. and Georgia has a 7-0 lead. That's your Georgia Metals Drive summary. From a doghouse to a dog's house, Georgia Metals has got you covered. Georgia getting set to kick it away with Marshall Morgan. We'll check in with Chuck Dowdle in just a moment, right after the kick. As Marshall walks it off, it's Jamal Golden. He's a very good kick returner, averaging just over 26 yards per return. He stands on the goal line to our left for Georgia Tech. Here's the boot by Marshall Morgan. It's high and it's end over end. It's going to come down about 5 yards deep in the end zone. Golden will catch it, take a knee for the touchback, and Tech will have the football on the 25, and we'll go down to the sidelines where Chuck Dowdle is standing by with a Cook's Pest Control sideline report. Chuck.
The big question, Scott, was how the Dogs would respond to the news yesterday that Missouri was going to the Georgia Dome, how they would come out today. I think they answered that with that opening drive. Guys were all in, but more importantly, what I think you saw in that fourth down, no hesitation, this coaching staff, they are all in.
Gotta like that. You can visit Flash Foods for your fuel and tailgating needs and download the Flash Foods mobile app to find the store nearest you. Georgia Tech on the 25-yard line. Thomas, a play fake, will roll out to the left. He fakes the option. He'll keep it, and we will wrap him up at the 25.5-yard line as Jordan Jenkins bear hugs the Tech quarterback and slings him to the turf after a half-a-yard gain. It'll be second down and a long 9.
And we've talked about the need for Georgia defensive players to get off of blocks, and right there, 3 or 4 Dogs beat their man at the point of attack, got off those blocks, and just no place for the Tech offense to go.
Justin Thomas, a redshirt sophomore from Prattville, Alabama, running this Tech offense up under center. Now the offense shifts a little bit. They hand it off to that big fullback. He runs straight ahead. That's St. John Days, 6'2" and 231 from Marietta, a senior for the Yellow Jackets. He runs straight up the gut to the 29-yard line. Give him 3. Ray Drew, Marlo Herrera on the stop. Marlo, the senior, the leading tackler on this team out of College Park, nearing 100 tackles on the year. Most likely he will surpass that today. Early third down opportunity for Georgia. This is a Chevy third and growl third down brought to you by your Georgia Best Chevy dealers. Third down and 6 to go for the Yellow Jackets from their own 29. Thomas is going to drop back and pass, or look to. He rolls to the near side, still with the football. Now he cuts upfield and will run with it, and he will get the first down at the 36, where we bring him down. He got the first down by about a half a yard. Ramik Wilson, the linebacker, made the tackle, and it looks like Ramik may be shaken up on the play. Ramik down on his knees. He was standing up, and he slowly went down to the turf. Training staff quickly out to tend to the senior linebacker from Tampa, Florida, Ramik Wilson. It's a 1st and 10 Georgia Tech. The ball on their 36-yard line after a 10-yard scramble by the quarterback, Justin Thomas.
And the Dogs right now, pretty steady diet of cover 2 here in the first 3 or 4 plays. You've seen us bring corner fire one time as well, trying to get into the offensive backfield of Georgia Tech. Going back to that third down play, it's where Tech has been so efficient this year. 58% of the time they're converting on third down, so extremely efficient in that category this year. We lost contain on Justin Thomas, allowed him to get outside where he can use his athletic ability and put it to good use.
Reggie Carter comes into the game at linebacker for Ramik Wilson as he leaves the field. Our defense shifts. Leonard Floyd on the far edge for Georgia. The Dogs have Lorenzo Carter on the near side, and in between is Jenkins and Bailey and Thornton. Quick throw to the near side, caught by Smelter on front of the Georgia bench on the near sideline. And that pass play is going to take Tech up to the 50-yard line. Carter, the linebacker, making the stop 14 yards downfield. Another first down on the quick throw by Georgia Tech. Ball on the 50.
Right, and that was a side adjustment there by Georgia Tech. Again, our boundary corner for the second time, and as many times as we've had the opportunity, win on the hash. We're bringing corner fire. That time Tech recognizes it, just throws a quick hot route.
Thomas, quick handoff to Days, running straight ahead. We're hanging on to bring him down as Sterling Bailey had him around the waist and the legs and brought Days down in Georgia territory after a 2-yard gain at the 48 of Georgia. Ball in the middle of the field on the G logo. Here between the hedges, bright sunshine here in Athens. Early afternoon, and Georgia leading at 7-0, 8:25 on the clock here in the first quarter. This is Tech's first possession. Georgia went 75 yards in 10 plays on its first and scored on a 1-yard run by Nick Chubb. Two receivers set for Georgia Tech. They send a man in motion. They play fake. Thomas back to pass. He'll throw it to the far side. Boom! Holy smokes, what a shot! And breaking up the pass is Quincy Mauger. Holy cow, check his teeth.
Well, it was just a wheel route out of the backfield. Actually had two Georgia Tech receivers kind of in the same spot. That ball was juggled just a little bit, and Quincy Mauger left no doubt. Just came in and blew the play up.
What did he? That was a decleater. Dennis Andrews got blown up by the Georgia defense. It's another Chevy third and growl, third down, brought to you by your Georgia Best Chevy dealers. Tech will huddle up 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Student section leading the noise here at Sanford Stadium. Third down, 8 for the Jackets on the Georgia 48-yard line. Man goes in motion, play fake. Thomas drops back, looking. Now he scrambles, rolls to the right, throws on the run. It is short and incomplete, trying to go to Tony Zinnon, who was already laying on the turf, and the pass was short anyway. It's incomplete, and Tech will be forced to do something they don't do a whole lot of, and that's punt the football.
Boy, Scott, we caught a break there as well. Amarlo Herrera was in coverage on Zennon, and Amarlo just fell down. The turf monster got a piece of him. Zennon was running wide open, and that's one that Thomas is going to want back because nobody was close to Zennon.
Ryan Rodwell, the punter. Reggie Davis is the deep receiver for Georgia. Rodwell takes the snap, gets the punt away. It's a good long punt. Reggie Davis going to run away. It's going to bounce on the floor and roll into the end zone for the touchback. And Georgia will have the football on the 20 when we come back, leading it 7-0 over Georgia Tech with 7:48 remaining in the first quarter. Timeout. Back in a moment. Bulldog Sports Network from IMG. Back in the Georgia Zone Credit Union booth here at Sanford Stadium. Academy Sports and Outdoors is a proud corporate partner of UGA Athletics. Right stuff, low price every day. Dogs ball, 1st and 10 on the 20, leading it 7-0 here in the first quarter. Direct snap now to Sony Michel in the ball game. Michel takes the snap, heads to the near sideline, cuts up at the 20, and he'll get 4 or 5 yards. Hudson Mason and Quavon Hicks out there leading the charge, trying to block for Sony Michel, the freshman from South Florida. And Sony got about 4.5 yards on the carry. Ball just across the Georgia 24.
Kudos to Hudson Mason. As a quarterback, the last thing you ever want to do is lead the way for a running back. But he did it pretty well right there.
We'll go into the I formation. Payne is the fullback, and Michel takes a toss at tail. Michel runs near side again. He'll get 3 before he's hit. Near the 28-yard line. Hit by P.J. Davis, a linebacker from Cairo, Georgia. He's the Yellow Jackets' leading tackler this season, and Davis with over 90 tackles on the year now.
Just a toss sweep there by the Dogs into the boundary, and Georgia Tech right now giving a lot of 2 safety looks. A little surprising that they're not dropping another guy into the box, but here they come on this 3rd down play.
Yeah, now they've got 9 in the box. We toss it to Sony. Kick out block. Sony with a stiff arm. He got the first down, and to the near sideline, stumbles at the 32-yard line. John Theus had a nice kick out block on the near edge to spring Sony Michel to get the first down and keep the possession moving.
Boy, Scott, we were a shoestring away there from Sony Michel, maybe taking that one to the house. But we had a check with me at the line of scrimmage. Actually, we checked away from the safety that dropped down in the box, as you said, giving them 9 in the bar, 8 in the box. We ran away from that support and had a nice little alley there in which to run through.
Quayshawn Neely made that last tackle for Georgia Tech. Play clock down to 10. Hudson Mason barking out the signals. Under center, out of the eye. Handoff, Sony. Sony hit in the backfield and dropped. Nice tackle by Adam Gotsis, the defensive tackle. He beat his block and got into the backfield and hit Michel at the 30 for a 2-yard loss. It'll be 2nd down and 12 now for the Bulldogs.
That was a draw there for the Dogs. Again, Tech sitting back with a 2 safety look, relying on their defensive line and linebackers to make a play, and there they did. We got beat at the line of scrimmage on a couple of blocks.
2 receivers for Georgia to the far side. 1 in tight near side. Hand it to Sony Michel, looking for running room, weaving between the hash marks and upfield to the 35-yard line. He started left, weaves back to the right to the middle of the field, and found a little bit of running space there. And he picked up 5 on that carry, but it's going to be 3rd and 7. Keishan Freeman, defensive end freshman from LaGrange, made the tackle for Georgia Tech. 3rd and 7 for the Dogs.
Well, nice bit of running there by Sonny Michel. Not a whole lot where the play was designed to go, but able to pick and find his way through the line of scrimmage for a couple of yards.
Georgia from the 35. Mason to throw with time. Throws it over the head of the intended receiver, Reggie Davis. That ball went sailing way past Reggie Davis, and Mason was under some pretty intense pressure there, and he took a pretty good hit, I believe, after he let go of that ball. It'll be 4th down on the incompletion, and Georgia will punt it for the first time. 7-0 Dogs, 4:50 to go first quarter, and we'll see Colin Barber, the junior from Cartersville, Georgia, check into the ball game to kick it away for the Dogs. And Jamal Golden is the lone receiver for the Yellow Jackets. He's back on the 20. Here's the punt by Barber. High, long spiral. Going to come down at the 24-yard line, and a fair catch is called for and made by Golden. And it'll be Georgia Tech's ball on their own 24, 41-yard punt. No return. Georgia leads it 7-0 first quarter over Georgia Tech. We're back after this on the Bulldog Sports Network from IMG. First and 10 Tech from their 24, handed off straight ahead to Days, the fullback. First man through, barrels his way low to the ground across the 30 to the 31.5-yard line. And he'll get good first down yardage there. He got 7.5 yards, and Marlo Herrera made the stop. Let's check in with Chuck now on the sidelines. Cook's Pest Control report. Chuck?
Scott, Hudson Mason, as Eric pointed out, took quite a shot. I watched him come off, though. He shook it off. Tough kid.
Let's hope so. We need him today. And a handoff again to Days. Straight ahead, right behind their big center, Freddie Burden, the redshirt sophomore, 300-pounder from Statesboro, tackled by Michael Thornton. Thornton, the nose man for Georgia, trips him up at the 36-yard line, but Tech gets a first down on the 4-yard run.
Yeah, same play 2 times in a row there for Tech. They actually went to a wing formation offensively and just running a dive play off of it, trying to get leverage on our nose tackle. Done it twice in a row pretty effectively.
First and 10, Georgia Tech on their own 36. They're moving to our right. They play fake and roll out the quarterback to the near side. And it's nearly picked off. Holy smokes, Damian Swan had it right in his hands. DeAndre Smelter has to be credited for helping to break up that 100% chance of an interception. I mean, Swan should have caught that. He was right in front of the receiver, hit him in the hands, and Smelter helped to break it up for an incompletion.
Yeah, Smelter was going to run a comeback route there. Damian Swan actually ran the route for him. Great anticipation on the route. Justin Thomas rolled out, really threw that ball a little bit to the outside, which helped out Damian Swan coming up, but a good defensive play by the offensive Smelter.
Second down and 10 for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets on their own 36-yard line. A lot of noise, and Thomas quickly going to rise up and call for a timeout as the play clock got down to 0. There's a flag on the field, I believe. Are they going to give him the timeout, or are they going to call the penalty? Because there is a flag at the 37-yard line that was dropped on the near sideline.
Well, they moved before the timeout. There's no question about that. It was Aaron Joe, offensive tackle for the Yellow Jackets, that moved right before Thomas got the timeout in, but we'll see what they call.
Here's Matt Moore, the referee.
We'll start. Before the timeout, number 75 of the offense, 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
So they got the penalty and they got the timeout.
Georgia Tech has not charged the timeout.
Well, correction. Well, they got a timeout, though. They got to go over there and huddle up with their guys.
Yeah, I guess so did we, though.
Yeah, but they were the one cheating. They were the ones with the penalty. Ball back on the 31-yard line. Second down and, 15 now for Georgia Tech. Georgia leads it 7-0. 3:39 to go, first quarter. Dogs scored on its first possession. Nick Chubb on a 1-yard touchdown run as Georgia scored on its opening drive of 75 yards. Thomas looking left, looking right, calling out the signals. Zenon goes in motion to the left. They toss it to him. And we will stop him in the backfield. Leonard Floyd up to make the play. Back at the 27, 28-yard line. Floyd, the sophomore from Eastman, Georgia, Dodge County High School, makes the tackle. They're going to give him progress on the loss to the 29-yard line, but he still lost a couple of yards on the play. Tech now going backwards, 3rd and forever. 3rd and 16, ball back on their 29.
Well, first man to the ball has got to limit yards after contact. Exactly what Leonard Floyd did there. The big wide sweep that we've seen Georgia Tech run year after year now. Leonard Floyd all over that one.
2 receivers near side for Georgia Tech on a passing down, 3rd and 16. Thomas drops back, now rolls to the right, looking, pump fake. Now he'll keep it, and he will be forced out of bounds on the Georgia sideline at the 33, pushed out by the senior corner, Damian Swan. As Swan pushes him out, 33-yard line. Floyd with a good pursuit, chasing Thomas from his position on the far side of the line of scrimmage. And Thomas had nowhere to go with it, really, and he got about 4 yards on the rush, and there was nothing downfield. And now Ryan Rodwell will punt it for the second time today. Tech had only punted once in its last 2 games prior to this one. Now here's the punt. Isaiah McKenzie is the deep receiver this time. Isaiah with the catch at the 21 and stumbles as he leans forward and tries to get around the first man on the near edge. And he was tripped up and stumbling at the same time at the 22-yard line, tackled by Corey Griffin, a freshman defensive back for Georgia Tech. It'll be the Dogs' ball after the 45-yard punt and no return. And we'll start 1st and 10 with our new offensive possession at the 22-yard line.
And Scott, even as improved as this Georgia Tech team is at throwing the football, you can tell when they get in these 3rd and long must-throw situations, there's still challenge there. It was 3rd and forever, and Tech actually comes out with a 2-man route. We haven't covered up the entire way. Justin Thomas gets out of the pocket and never thought really for 1 second that he was going to throw that football. So if we can continue to keep Tech in 3rd and medium, 3rd and long situations where there's a higher propensity of throwing the football, it's going to bode well for the Dogs defensively throughout the game.
Thomas here early, just 1 for 4 for 14 yards throwing the football. Hudson Mason 4 out of 5 for 39 yards. Football fans love a great drive to the end zone. Drivers love a great drive on the road. So always fill up with Texaco with Techron for great performance you can count on. Texaco with Techron. Driving performance. Let's check in with Chuck on the sidelines. Cook's Pest Control sideline report. Chuck Tattle.
Scott, to Eric's point, you can tell from here, down here on the sideline, you can certainly see when Tech has to pass in those long convert situations like Eric was talking to, there's a certain they have this uncertainty that you can tell that they're not quite sure. And that really is obvious when you look at Justin Thomas's eyes. You can see his eyes as he's looking. He's got there's some uncertainty in what he wants to do.
He didn't have much to throw to on that last position. He just kind of ran out of space, ran out of time, and he got 4 yards on a kind of a half-hearted scramble, and Tech punts for the second time. It's Georgia ball now on the 22-yard line. Dogs leading at 7-0, getting late in the first quarter, 2:26 remaining. And Dog fans, GeorgiaDogs.com is your first and best source for Bulldog news, scores, highlights, interviews, and behind-the-scenes video. You can also buy Dogs gear in the G-Shop or bid against other Bulldog fans in the exclusive online auctions. Visit GeorgiaDogs.com today. And make the perfect play this season with Reese's, the official candy partner of the NCAA. Stock up on enough Reese's peanut butter cups to get you through every game. Reese's, perfect. Dogs break the huddle on the near sideline, head up to the line of scrimmage now. David Andrews, the center, leading the way. Cablano and Pike are the guards, and Theus and Houston the tackles. Blazevich in at tight end. Jonathan Rump on the near side at one receiver position. 2 men out to the far side, and that's McKenzie and Conley. Chubb's in the backfield. Mason in the shotgun will hand it off to McKenzie on a power sweep to the near side, and Tech's not buying it. McKenzie dropped at the 20-yard line by Isaiah Johnson, the strong safety. That's going to be a 2-yard loss on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 12 now for the Dogs. Ball on the 20.
Yeah, not the look that the Dogs wanted there defensively. We've been getting a steady diet of cover 2. That time, Tech actually walks those safeties down. They ended up playing cover 0, so we ran the jet sweep right into the teeth of the Tech defense.
Now we'll put our 3 veteran receivers out to the right side. Mason looks left, now throws a screen to Malcolm Mitchell. He makes the catch at the 20 on a slant up the field. The pile is still moving. Now the whistle's blowing, and Mitchell wasn't down yet. Now he's finally down on the turf at the 33-yard line, I believe. And that's going to be a first down for Georgia on a 13-yard gain on the screen play to Malcolm Mitchell. Greg Pike, the right guard, gets up off the bottom of the pile, helping to move that mass of white shirts a couple of yards more downfield, Z.
Yeah, and it's just a great job of hustle by the offensive line, getting downfield and helping Malcolm Mitchell out.
Hand off Chubb, near side. Chubb with space. Chubb, oh, what a move at the 45. Chubb on his way, down to the 20, down to the 10, 5. Did he get to the pylon? No, out of bounds, down to the 1.5. Oh, he abused the guy at the 45-yard line and just ripped off yard after yard down inside the Tech 5.
Boy, did he ever. Was one-on-one with the Tech defender on the outside. Just stuck his foot in the ground like he was going to go left. Georgia Tech defender goes flying, and then off Chubb goes to the races.
65 yards on the run by Chubb. He goes over 1,200 yards for the season. 1st and goal 2, Nick Chubb. And Chubb spins at the goal line. I don't think he got in. They hit him at the 1. He tried to spin his way in. They're going to mark it on the half-yard line.
Well, just give it to him again, Mike Bobo. After that long run, he deserves to hang the 6 points on the board.
My goodness. 2nd and goal from the 1. Dogs unpile. Get back to the line of scrimmage. There's 27 waiting. He tries to dive. He lost the ball! He hit the pile and lost the ball. He fumbled it, and Tech has recovered it. Oh, my goodness. He tried to dive over the pile, and when he did, he made contact with somebody in the pile, and it stripped the ball out of his hands, and Tech has recovered it. They fell on it at the 3-yard line.
Well, we ran into the back of our own guy. It was Brandon Cablano that Nick Chubb was trying to launch over and just never really got off the ground, and looked like Cablano's elbow knocked that football out.
Tyler Marcortis, the linebacker, recovered it for Georgia Tech. Boy, did they dodge a bullet. Let's see if Georgia can overcome the mistake. 1st and 10 going the other way for Georgia Tech on the 3-yard line. 41 seconds to go in the quarter. Georgia up 7-0.
Boy, we'll see if the Dogs can hold defensively here. We were about just to put another nail in that coffin as the Dogs have dominated this football game. Hopefully that momentum hasn't shifted.
Tech on its own 3-yard line. They're going to throw out of the end zone. Thomas scrambling in the end zone, flings it downfield, and it's tipped up in the air! And incomplete, out of bounds on the near sideline at the 30. Wow, dangerous throw for Justin Thomas, Z.
Yeah, that it was. He was a little bit late with his timing, and then had a host of Bulldogs chasing after him. Just kind of heaves that up in the air. Damian Swan had a shot at it, tipped that up. Dominic Sanders coming in to try to make the diving interception.
And there was a roughing the passer called on Georgia. And the penalty flag, 15 yards, will get Tech out of a deep hole out to the 18-yard line after the 15-yard walk-off.
Boy, I'll tell you what, if this game turns out not going the way of the Bulldogs, you just look at this series right now.
1st and 10 Tech, now on their 18. They hand it off to Zach Lasky running straight ahead, but running backwards now is 4 red shirts just driving back to the 11-yard line, led by the linebackers, Rameek Wilson and Amarlo Herrera and Leonard Floyd. All 3 of them grabbed a piece of Lasky and just drove him back. They stopped him at the 19, say the officials, so he got a yard on that, believe it or not. 2nd down and 9 now for Georgia Tech. Dog fans, today's football broadcast is available on the Georgia Bulldogs Game Day Live app, TuneIn Radio app, GeorgiaDogs.com, and all our stations along the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network from IMG. No reason to miss your Dogs on game days, no matter where you are. Be sure to tune in and listen. Into the quarter, Georgia leads it 7-0 over Georgia Tech. We're back after this on the Bulldogs Sports Network from IMG. Hey fans, today Wells Fargo is making a $25 donation for every offensive yard to the Food Bank of North Georgia, up to $10,000. So fans cheer on the Dogs together with Wells Fargo and help fight hunger in North Georgia. Dogs ball, or rather Tech ball, Tech as we start the second quarter. 2nd down and 9 for Georgia Tech on the 19-yard line. 7-0 Georgia leads. Should have been 14-0, but the Dogs coughed it up on the 1-yard line. Nick Chubb ran into the pile and fumbled the football after a long 65-yard run to set up a score. Now Tech with 2nd down and 9, and they run a reverse on a toss to Smelter. He avoids tackle in the backfield, upfield at the 20, and hit at the 25 by Quincy Mauger and Jordan Jenkins. And players shaken up. And maybe a Marlo Herrera, the linebacker. Lorenzo Carter also shaken up on the play. Is Swan? It's not Herrera. Damian Swan is the injured player, and Lorenzo Carter slow to get up as well. As Tech got to the 26-yard line, I believe. Now Carter is up, and Swan is sitting up, and now he's being helped up, and now he will run off the field. Boy, he jumped up and got out of there in a hurry. Let's check in with Chuck Dowdle on the sidelines. Cook's Pest Control Report. Chuck?
Well, it's one of the things you worry about, Eric, Scott. We've talked about it when you face this offense. Are those, they get after your legs with their blocks down low. They're legal, but the defensive players, they hate it. They hate defending it.
Yeah, and that time, Chuck, they got us just on a reverse of field there. The pitch back on the reverse had all flow going the other way and a couple of crack blocks coming back against the grain that we just weren't on the lookout for.
3rd and 2 Tech on their 26. They run it with Lasky straight ahead. Zach Lasky running straight ahead into the line of scrimmage, hit by Toby Johnson, the defensive end. He's short of the first down, I believe, down at the 28-yard line. Yeah, they may measure. Yep, looks like Matt Moore, the referee, will ask for an official timeout as they'll bring the chains out and measure. Ball on the 28 as they trot the chains out to the near hash mark. At Aaron's, you are pre-approved. You can choose from the top brand names in furniture, electronics, and appliances with flexible, affordable monthly lease payments. Aaron's helps you own it. No credit needed. And Tech gets the first down. So 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line after a 2-yard pickup by Zach Lasky, a 6'1 senior, 218-pounder from Peachtree City, Georgia. He's the 2nd leading rusher on the team behind the quarterback, Justin Thomas. Lasky over 600 yards on the season. Thomas deep under center. Swan's back in the ball game now for Georgia. Play fake. Thomas spins away from a sack. Rolls right. Throws. Wobbler on the run. The receiver, Smelter, comes back to catch it at the 40. Made the catch on the comeback. DeAndre Smelter, the senior from Macon, tackled by Aaron Davis at the 40-yard line, but a gain of 12 and a first down. Sterling Bailey is the guy that nearly sacked Thomas, but the elusive Justin Thomas at 5'11 and 189 was able to spin away out of a possible sack and got a first down on the other end.
Yeah, really a stellar play there by Thomas. We brought corner fire again. That's originally where Thomas wanted to go. We did a good job covering that up over the top, and then it was athletic ability of Thomas that did the rest. Thomas
running way back at the 21, being chased by Rameek Wilson. Now he just flings it out of bounds into the Tech bench to lift the play another day. He had backtracked about 15, 17 yards back around the 22-yard line with number 51, Rameek Wilson, who had to fight off a block initially and then got in pursuit of the quarterback, but wisely chunks it out of bounds. It'll be 2nd down and 10 now, back on the 40-yard line.
And a little surprising to see Tech going to the air as much as they are on early downs right now, especially against the looks that Georgia's playing defensively. A steady diet of cover 2. You would think that Tech would just want to try to pound the rock against that defensive look.
Dogs with 7 men in the box. They do run it this time. They'll run option with Thomas rolling to the right. He keeps it. and will be tackled at the 45-yard line. Lorenzo Carter, Damian Swan in on the stop for the Dogs. Ball, they'll give him yardage up to the 46-yard line. It's a Chevy third and growl third down, brought to you by Georgia Best Chevy Dealers. Tech with a third down and 5 to go from their own 46-yard line. Georgia leads it 7-0. Tech is 2 out of 4 on third down conversions so far in the ball game, and the Yellow Jackets want a timeout. Paul Johnson tells the line judge to call a time. He runs out and waves it down.
First time out of the half.
Timeout with 12:31 to go, second quarter. Dogs up a touchdown, 7-0. Back in a moment. Bulldog Sports Network from IMG. Back in the Georgia Zone Credit Union booth, Georgia leading Georgia Tech 7-0. Tech with a third down and 5 from their own 46. They're moving to our left as we view it. Thomas under center. Man in motion to the right. Thomas drops back. Pump fakes. Now he'll throw a bullet. It's caught by Smelter at Georgia's 45, running laterally, and he runs right into Aaron Davis, who was being blocked, and then Davis jumps up and tackles him at the 37-yard line.
Boy, good job by Smelter adjusting his route there. We actually faked corner blitz, and Georgia Tech thought we were coming, so it was just a side adjustment outside to Smelter. When we backed off into coverage, Smelter just took his little side adjustment route, turned it into an in route for Thomas to find him.
17-yard pickup for Georgia Tech and a first down into Georgia territory. Ball on the Dogs' 37-yard line. Georgia leads it 7-0, but the Dogs coughed it up inside the 5 on a prime scoring opportunity moments ago. Tech trying to cash in on that. Thomas drops back. They'll run option to the right. He fakes the pitch, and Thomas on the keeper will be brought down by Ray Drew, sliding down on the turf around the 31-yard line, 32-yard line, perhaps. No, make it the 36-yard line, excuse me.
Boy, great job.
Second down and 9, excuse me, Z.
Yeah, sorry, Scott. Great job there by the Dogs. Leonard Floyd, Ray Drew, both beat their man, got off blocks initially, and were in prime position there to make the play. Whether Thomas kept it or whether or not he would have pitched it, Dogs were in good shape.
Tech puts a man out to each side. 3 backs in the backfield. Thomas under center. We crowd the line of scrimmage. They bring one in motion, and they hand it off to the fullback, Lasky. He runs straight ahead at right guard and plows his way ahead to the 29-yard line. Herrera and Wilson the stop for Georgia. It's going to bring up third down and about 2.5, maybe a full 3 yards. Another Chevy third and growl third down for the Georgia defense, brought to you by your Georgia Best Chevy dealer. Ball just inside Georgia's 30-yard line.
And we were in good shape there defensively. Actually brought both inside linebackers on A-gap Dogs. Tech still able to find the crease, though.
And in motion this way, they hand it to Lasky again. He's trying to run straight ahead and step over bodies. I think he got the first down. He did. Forward progress down to the 26-yard line. They'll move the sticks, a 4-yard gain for Georgia Tech. And they keep on moving. Ray Drew made the stop for Georgia. 10:15 on the clock, second quarter. Bright sunshine here in Athens. Temperature in the 50s now after a sub-freezing morning. Had a little layer of frost on the field here at Sanford Stadium. Thomas going to fake it and keep it and roll to the right. Going to be tackled down the line of scrimmage by Rameek Wilson, the linebacker. Played it well at the 25-yard line. He'll bring down the Tech quarterback, who had a pitch man trailing on his right, but he decided to keep it. And it'll be second down and a long 8. He got about 1.5 yards. Tech taking its time, clock ticking, 9:35, play number 12 of this possession that started back on the 3-yard line. After the fumble, Tech's moved it all the way down inside Georgia's 25. Handoff running straight ahead again is Zach Lasky. And he's wrapped up at the 21-yard line. Ray Drew, and they sling him back to the 25. But forward progress at the 21. He got 4. It'll be third down from there.
Tech
third down at 6.
Tech right now, not a whole lot of success out on the perimeter. We've done a good job on containing both the pitchman and the quarterback. And every time the ball's on one of the hashes, our boundary corner is coming on a delayed corner fire with the responsibility to take the pitchman. And then our inside defensive players doing a good job getting off blocks.
Third down, handoff. Lasky nowhere to go. Down at the 20. Again, Ray Drew initially with the hit. Stopped at the 20-yard line. It's going to be 4th and 4. And Georgia Tech will send on the field goal unit. Harrison Butker will take a practice swing, and he'll line up between the hash marks right in the middle of the field for a 37-yard try. They'll kneel down on the 27. Tech looking for its first points of the contest. There's the snap and the hold. The kick is blocked. The Dogs block it. It's picked up on the edge, and now there's a pile. We're still trying to pick it up. I think we finally do. Maybe Damian Swan got it. Swan picked up the blocked field goal and angles out of bounds on the far side in front of the Tech bench. The Dogs blocked it. They stuffed it back in Butker's face. Ray Drew blocked it. Damian Swan recovered it. Two seniors doing their best.
Boy, that they are, and you feared that we were going to lose some momentum, and we coughed it up going into the end zone. There, the Dogs able to hold ground and force that field goal attempt and get the momentum firmly back on the side of the good boys in the red and black.
Dogs ball on our 41. Timeout, 7:54, second quarter. Dogs still 7-0 on Tech. Now this on the Bulldogs Sports Network from IMG. Ray Drew with his second blocked kick of the year. Drew blocked an extra point against Arkansas, blocks the field goal try on a 37-yard attempt. Dogs ball on our 41, going the other way, leading 7-0. Let's check in with Chuck on the sidelines. Cook's Pest Control Report. Chuck.
Scott, Eric, you love that Tech got nothing, but they spent so much time getting nothing. Some of our seniors graduated.
All right, Dogs ball. Dogs ball on our 41 with a 7-0 lead. Mason back in the shotgun, going to hand it to Chubb. Chubb cuts up at the 41, 45, dragged down at the 50. Maybe got into Tech territory. I think he did. Yeah, he got a full 10 yards. That's going to be a first down. P.J. Davis, the Cairo, Georgia linebacker, makes the stop for Tech. Georgia up to the line of scrimmage, and David Andrews snapped the ball and then put it back down. That's going to be the old snap infraction, illegal procedure on the Dogs. We were trying to go hurry, and Andrews got a little jumpy, and they'll mark off 5 yards. Ball back on our 46 now.
Boy, the Dogs were about to get the up-tempo going again. No different than we saw in the first series of the game where Dogs really went hurry up. Try to do it again there. Now back in a 1st and 15 situation.
From our 46, Chubb over 100 yards for the day. We throw it out to Rump, left side. Rump with blocking. Rump into Tech territory on the sidelines. Forced out of bounds at the Georgia Tech 43-yard line. He got 12 yards. Chris Milton pushes him out of bounds. Bennett and Conley, the veterans, out blocking on that left edge for Jonathan Rump.
Yeah, Bobo revisiting that first series script right now. Bubble screen to the outside, up-tempo.
2nd and 3, handoff Chubb from the Tech 42-yard line. Chubb runs into the line of scrimmage. Tech piles it up. Nick maybe got a yard. We'll check it. Yeah, they moved the stick just a little bit closer to the 41-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 2. Quayshawn Neely, the middle linebacker, a senior from Lakeland, Florida, with the stop for Georgia Tech. 3rd down coming up for the Dogs. Georgia leads at 7-0. 6:50 on the clock, second quarter. Georgia moving to our right as we view it from the Georgia's own credit union booth here at Sanford Stadium. Sony Michel's in the game, offset to Hudson Mason's right. He'll roll out for a pass. Mason will throw, and it's caught by Jay Rome, the tight end, for the first down at the Tech 36-yard line. And Georgia will move the sticks and keep this thing going. Gain of 6 on the play.
Good read there by Hudson Mason. The Jackets came down, played cover 3. We had a one-on-one situation with Jay Rome on a linebacker. Very easy read, just a little out route, well executed by Hudson Mason.
1st and 10 Dogs, 3 receivers right. We're going to run it with Sony Michel inside running. Michel trying to squirm his way out of a tackle, and he squirts down to the 32-yard line. Gain of 4. Neely was grabbing on and Slipping away was Sony Michel, as Tech has an injured player on the field. So that'll stop the clock momentarily as the training staff for Georgia Tech tends to their injured player. 6:02 on the clock, 7-0 Georgia. And we'll take a timeout for the injury here. Dogs by a touchdown here in the second quarter. We'll come back for more Bulldogs football after this timeout. Bulldogs Sports Network from IMG. Georgia ball on the 32-yard line. Second down coming up. Dog fans head to Tires Plus for their $19.99 oil change. Take advantage of their 30-minute guarantee when you schedule an appointment. That's another plus from Tires Plus. Dogs ready to go. We've got two receivers to the right and one to the left. Offset from Mason is Chubb. They'll put it in his belly. Nick will run with a block on the right edge. Ooh, hit high around the head. My goodness. At the 28-yard line, Chubb was falling down, and he took a pop from Isaiah Johnson, the strong safety. It's going to be third down, about 1.5 yards.
Boy, did he ever take a shot, too. Had somebody on his legs, was kind of left exposed there, and took a shoulder pad right to the side of the head, but he's hopped up here. Looks like no ill effects on him.
Dogs break the huddle up quickly. Third down and short. Power formation. Everybody in tight for Georgia and for Georgia Tech. Two fullbacks in. Chubb with his hand on the ground takes it behind the fullbacks, runs right. Got to the 27-yard line. It's going to be close. We'll see about the spot. Marcortis and White up to make the contact for Georgia Tech. I think they're going to say it's fourth down. Yes, they are. It's fourth and short, very short, fourth and inches.
Yeah, no hesitation here again for the Dogs. Only 7-0 right now. No, they need to put touchdowns on the board against this Tech offense.
Dogs quickly go. Handoff Chubb. He got the first down, falls across the 25 down to the 24. Found a seam on that right side behind right tackle and right guard. Pike and Houston on the right side, and Chubb fell right through it and got the first down. Let's go down to Chuck on the sidelines. Cook's Pest Control. Chuck?
Guys, I guess Marshall Morgan's going to be backing up to the pay window this week because it looks like field goals are off the board.
First and 10 for the Dogs on the Tech 25-yard line. Georgia leads at 7-0. 4:28. Clock moving here in the second quarter. Sony Michel in the backfield for the Dogs. Three receivers left. Mason in the shotgun. They work on the near hash, moving to our right. There's the snap to Hudson. Steps up in the pocket. Tech's going to try to sack him. Put that ball away. He was looking for somebody to pitch it to. You got to secure that thing. He got sacked by Freeman, the defensive end from LaGrange, back at the 32-yard line. It's going to be a loss of 7 on the play. Oh, that was scaring me. Hudson had that ball out in his hands and looking for somebody to toss it to.
Boy, was it ever. Greg Pike got beat right off the snap there, and really no chance for Hudson Mason. But you're right. Hudson looked like he was trying to lateral it to somebody. That ball was just sitting out there like a loaf of bread.
Play fake. He'll throw it. Wide open is Roan down the middle of the field at the 15-yard line. And Tech will tackle the Georgia tight end there with Johnson and Marcortis. And that's going to be a first down for the Dogs. Ball down to the 15. A gain of 17 on the pass play to Jay Roan.
Boy, great play-action fake there. Sony Michel did a great job of selling that. It brought all of the linebackers from Georgia Tech up a couple of steps. Jay Roan easily into the secondary with nobody close to him.
Dogs are in the Red Baron red zone. Pick up a Red Baron pizza before the next game. Get a taste of the tradition. I formation. Michel is the tailback. Quavon Hicks is the full. Two receivers left. Toss it to Michel with Hicks blocking. Michel to the sideline. Michel 10, 5, 3, and where? Down to the... He fumbled the football. He fumbled it through the end zone, and it went out of bounds. The officials are saying it's a touchback. It's going to be Tech's ball. We fumbled it through the end zone. Michel coughed it up through the end zone. Second fumble inside the 5-yard line by Georgia today.
Boy, Sony Michel trying to reach out and get that football over the pylon. I actually don't think it got out of the end zone. It looked like Johnson for Georgia Tech actually fell on the football in the end zone. Again, Dogs just dominating this football game, but being eaten up by mistakes.
Second turnover for Georgia. And it'll be Tech's football on the 20-yard line with the touchback on the fumble recovery. 3:04 remaining in the half. 7-0. And we'll take a timeout. Come back after this. Bulldog Sports Network from IMG. Georgia had only lost 4 fumbles all season long. We have lost 2 today, and they have both come right around the goal line. Sony Michel fumbled at the 1, and to clarify, Georgia Tech recovered it, as Eric pointed out, in the right corner of the end zone by Isaiah Johnson. He jumped on that ball, just kind of died as it rolled into the end zone. Now Tech has it after the touchback. 1st and 10 on their 20-yard line. Georgia with a 7-0 lead. It easily could be 21-0. Thomas going to throw it, and he airmails it on the near sideline. Intended man was Darren Waller at the 40. Aaron Davis in coverage, and that ball sails 10 feet or more over his head and into the Georgia bench.
Well, again, Tech getting a 2-deep look. They've just got a one-man route going up the sideline, so our converging safety really was 2-on-1 for the Bulldogs. Surprised against this cover 2 look that we're giving that Tech is going to the air so much on 1st down.
2nd and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. They'll run it option to the right. They pitch it out. Now they've got some space to the 30, to the 40. As Charles Perkins, one of the A-backs, jumping over a man at the 40-yard line, tackled downfield by Lorenzo Carter to the 45-yard line. It might be their longest run of the day at 25 yards. 1st and 10 at the 45 of Georgia Tech, and that is their longest run of the day.
And for the first time today, we didn't have quick support on the edge by one of our defensive backs containing the pitch man. You can see how quick this Tech offense can move.
Days gets the handoff inside. First man through. He's hit and knocked around, spinning the other direction, then hit again. Toby Johnson hit him first, and then Rameek Wilson and Leonard Floyd finished him off at the Tech 47-yard line. A pickup of 2 for the big fullback. And the clock moving at 2:13 in the half. Tech with a deficit of 7-0 right now, trying to get their first points here at the end of the half and take advantage of a second Georgia turnover. Thomas fakes the handoff, keeps it, and runs option right. They pitch it out, and Perkins will be tackled by Swan in Georgia territory. And I think he's going to get the first down. Well, they're going to measure. The ball's on the Georgia 45-yard line. It's very close. Matt Moore, the referee, will take a look at it on the far side of the field. Coming up after the game, it's the BB&T Dog Talk postgame show with Jeff Dantzler and Kevin Butler. Exclusive interviews from the locker room with Chuck Dowdle. Our call-in show, it's live from the Georgia Center. And let's go down to Chuck Dowdle on the sidelines. Cook's Pest Control report. Chuck.
Well, while they conduct that, I guess 1st down for Georgia Tech, but on that ball, it was thrown out of bounds on 1st down. Aaron Davis seemed to pull something. He's out. Malcolm Parrish now in.
And it's a 1st down for Tech, as Chuck said. Thomas back to pass. Here comes the pressure. He'll fling it up, and it is caught. And inbounds, they say, at the 41-yard line. A gain of 4. The catch was made by Dion Hill. Thomas had to scramble and roll right, apparently. Look at a replay. The Georgia fans didn't like what they saw. Damian Swan making the hit on the far sideline. Doesn't look like it's going to be reviewed. Now it is. Matt Moore going to stop the play and review it. Replay official today is Gerald Hodges. Matt Moore, the referee, and Matt Moore will put on the headphones, and they'll get the word from upstairs on the replay. 2nd down is the call. 2nd down, 4-yard gain, ball on the 41, but it may come back. We'll see as they look at the replay.
And again, Tech going to the air on 1st down. Justin Thomas initially looking over to his left. Nobody was there. Scrambles out around to the right.
Was that Hill on the catch?
Yeah.
Hill. Can you tell from that replay?
Initial look like he got his left toe down just in bounds. So good job of stretching for that. Dion Hill was the receiving, on the receiving end of that Thomas pass, and looks like he did a good job getting his toe down.
And again, they've called it complete, so you need the video evidence to overturn it, or else it will stand. And that might be the case here as they're zooming in on the big board. Looks like he got it in bounds. Looks like the right call. Pre-game, Dog fans, we'll give you one more chance in a bowl game. It's the all-new Dog Talk pregame show, live with Jeff Dantzler and Kevin Butler. Home games are live at the Georgia Center, and we'll do it at least one more time coming up, depending on where Georgia will play around the holidays in a bowl game.
Complete catch, second down.
And Matt Moore with the call says it is a completed pass, and it is a 4-yard gain, and it's second down on the Georgia 41. Georgia leads it 7-0. We fumbled it twice inside the 3-yard line. One by Chubb, one by Michelle. Tech trying to cash in on Georgia's latest mistake. They're at the Georgia 41. Thomas going to drop back. Now steps up in the pocket, avoids the rush, and just chunks it out to the right side of the field. Charles Perkins was down on his knees, and the ball just kind of wobbled and bounced well short of the intended target. It's going to be incomplete, and you had Wilson and Jenkins and Johnson and Carter and Floyd all chasing after Justin Thomas, who was able to step up straight and avoid all of those red-shirted defenders. It's 3rd down and 6 now for Georgia Tech on the Georgia 41. Scoreboard asks for noise. Handoff to Days, straight ahead at right tackle, actually. And he runs into a pile of red shirts. Lorenzo Carter, Marlo Herrera, Sterling Bailey in on the stop. And it's going to be 4th down now for Georgia Tech as they look like they gave him a really good spot up to the 37-yard line. Boy, 4th down and 2.
Yeah, Tech not wasting any time here. They are going for it.
And timeout. Georgia will call a time to stop the clock with 1:08 remaining in the half. Tech lining up to go for it on 4th down and 2 from the Georgia 37-yard line. You can get official coverage of Bulldog football with the new and improved Georgia Game Day Live mobile app. Download the official app for free today. Available on select iOS and Android devices. And Georgia fans, if you want a little something extra with your Bulldog tickets, then sign up for StubHub Fan Rewards before you buy. You'll get at least 2% back on your tickets, plus the chance at complimentary seat upgrades, perks, and preferred access events. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Georgia Bulldogs. So 4th down and 2 from the 37-yard line. That's kind of no man's land, really, as far as trying a field goal. Probably not going to punt at this point, but 4th down and 2 from the 37, and Tech will most likely continue to go for it here.
Yeah, more than likely they will. They're out of field goal range. The only thing that a punt does here is it really limits what Georgia can do. If the Dog's able to get a stop, the way they've been moving the football, obviously had the 2 turnovers that have hurt them, but the way they've been moving the football, especially on the ground, they can very easily, with the time left on the clock, get themselves back into scoring position.
Tech is 9 for 13 on 4th down tries this season, 69%. That's 8th best in the NCAA. They fake it and run it on the option. The pitch to Perkins. Perkins wide side of the field, gets the 1st down at the 34-yard line. On the toss from Thomas, Marlo Herrera makes the tackle. And he got 3. Needed 2, and he got 3 running to the wide side of the field.
Boy, and for the first time today, again, we brought corner fire, our boundary corner that has responsibility of the pitch man that time. For the first time today, Damian Swan got sucked in on the dive fake.
1st and 10, Thomas with a quick throw to Darren Waller, threw it behind him. Waller was the wideout on the near side. Ball lands incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10, stopping the clock with 48 seconds to go in the half, and Georgia leading it 7-0. They spot the ball just inside the Georgia 34-yard line. Tech all in white, Georgia in red and silver, as the Yellow Jackets are moving to our left as we view it, looking for their first points of the game. 2nd and 10 from the Dogs 34. Thomas under center, play fake, going to drop back, way back on the 45, now retreating even more, and will fling it out of bounds, as again he had 4 or 5 red shirts bearing down on him. And the usual suspects, Drew, Carter, Jenkins, all in chasing the Georgia Tech quarterback, as Thomas was backpedaling all the way almost back to midfield before he just slung that ball out of bounds into the Georgia Tech bench.
Boy, and we gave Thomas another little push after he'd already released the football. was looking for a flag to come out. The previous roughing the passer penalty that we had down in the end zone, not much different than there. So fortunate for the Dogs, the yellow hanky didn't come out.
3rd down, 10 for Tech. Thomas going to drop back in the pocket. Here comes pressure. He throws it hard. It's caught on the far side by Hill. And Hill out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Dominic Sanders, Leonard Floyd on the stop. But he got 9, I think. And it might be 4th and 1. Yeah, they'll spot it on the 24. He needs to the 23. It's 4th down and a yard with 33 seconds to go in the half.
And again, Tech going for it, trying to get a touchdown on the board. And there's nothing conventional about this Georgia Tech passing game. Thomas just drops back and keeps giving ground until hopefully he sees a white jersey pop.
Handoff Days. Big hole right side. Days to the 15. Days stumbling out of bounds to the 12. Just kind of chugging his way at right tackle. St. John Days gets the first down and puts the ball out of bounds at the 12-yard line with 27 seconds to go in the half.
Boy, one of the few times today, a gaping hole for St. John Days to run through. Just a simple dive play off tackle, and Georgia Tech did a good job of collapsing the Georgia defensive line.
Days picks up a dozen yards. It's 1st and 10 Tech. Clock stopped with 27 seconds left. They're working on a potential 80-yard drive here to end the half after Georgia fumbled it on the 1 and it went into the end zone. They fake it and roll to the near side with Thomas. He's got a pitch man, but he's going to keep it. He breaks a tackle, cuts downfield, dances at the 8, knocked around at the 7. We had a guy back near the 15, Leonard Floyd, that had a shot at him, but Thomas was able to avoid it. And Georgia Tech will call a timeout as the clock is down to 13 seconds. Quincy Mauger finally made the tackle on the near sideline for Georgia. Ball on the 7 of the Bulldogs. It'll be 2nd down and 5 coming up for Georgia Tech as they use the timeout, stop the clock with 13 ticks. Scana Energy is a proud sponsor of UGA Athletics. For every touchdown the Bulldogs score, Scana Energy will make a $500 donation to the University of Georgia General Scholarship Fund. So Tech's come all the way from the 20 after recovering the fumble in the end zone. Sony Michel coughed it up on the other end. And Tech trying to cash this one in for points as they have driven down to the Georgia 7-yard line.
And Tech here still with 1 timeout left, so if they choose to run the football and don't get it into the end zone, can burn that last timeout, but they're getting really close here to where you would imagine they would have to put the football in the air, which is definitely not their strength, albeit improved from years past, not the strength of this offensive football team.
Here's Tech out of the huddle now, coming up to the line of scrimmage. 14th play of the drive coming up for the Yellow Jackets. 2nd down and 5 from Georgia's 7-yard line. Dogs have fumbled it twice today. Thomas going to throw a fade to the right side and an easy touchdown as their big guy Darren Waller at 6'5" and 241 goes up between 2 red shirts and makes an easy catch for the score in the front left corner of the end zone, and Tech gets a touchdown.
Yeah, and Waller just got on the hip of Damian Swan, and Damian Swan couldn't elevate to go even attempt to make a play on that ball.
16th touchdown pass of the season for Justin Thomas. And Tech will try to tie it up here with the point after try from Harrison Butker. 2 first-half turnovers have been crucially bad for Georgia. Here's the point after try into the net. It's good. It's 7-7. Chubb fumbled going into the pile from the 3. We were on the 1. He ran into the pile and coughed it up, and Tech recovered. They didn't get points out of it, but it halted a Georgia scoring drive. And then Sony Michel fumbled it at the 1 on Georgia's last possession, and it rolled into the end zone, and Tech's Isaiah Johnson recovered the fumble in the end zone for the touchback, and Tech just went 80 yards for the score in 14 plays. And with 8 seconds to go before halftime, Georgia Tech has tied it up at 7 apiece.
Yeah, just a first half of could-have-beens here for the Dogs. Really dominated the football game up until that last drive. 2 fumbles on the goal line. Easily could have had 21 points on the board and all of the momentum on the side of the red and black. But the 2 fumbles proven to be costly here, especially in the last one, as Tech takes advantage of it and drives the field for the touchdown.
So Tech will tee it up and kick it away with 8 seconds remaining. And Butker has it teed up on the 35. Isaiah McKenzie's the deep receiver for Georgia. Butker has it teed up right between the hash marks. And he will squib it. Going to take a high bounce. And Georgia will pick it up at the 32 and run it upfield for about 7 or 8 yards. Jeb Blazevich, the tight end. And he's hit at the 38-yard line, and there are 3 seconds remaining on the clock. And we'll see what the Dogs decide to do with the 3 seconds here. If they going to let the clock run out, just take a knee or try a play. Dogs in the huddle. Fullback comes out. Christian Payne. Georgia will just take a snap, it would appear, as Chubb and Payne will surround Hudson Mason. He takes the snap, takes the knee, and that's the end of the half. So as you said, Z, it was a first half of could-have-beens and should-have-beens for Georgia, and it's a bit of a disappointment. You look up and you see only 7 points on the scoreboard. We are tied at 7, and it should have been a lot more for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that it should have been, and Tech gets the ball coming out at halftime as well. Going to be important on this first drive, and Tech is very good coming out at halftime of putting points on the board for the Georgia defense to bow its neck and get this ball back into the hands of the offense, see if we can turn this around.
Well, Tech took off almost all the rest of the clock in there in that last possession, better than 3 minutes on that 14-play, 80-yard drive. They left 8 seconds to go when they scored on the 7-yard throw. And that was the way the half ended. And as you say, they have the ball coming out of the locker room to start the second half. So 7-7 as Georgia and Georgia Tech go to halftime. Let's go down to Chuck Dowdle on the field with Coach Mark Richt. Chuck.
Thank you so much, Coach. I know you feel like you're moving the ball well. You just need to control it a little better at the goal line.
Yeah, I mean, 2 turnovers down there where it counts the most. We just can't afford that.
Thank you so much, Coach. And hey, he's not happy about it. I tell you that. I'm sure that there will be a stern talking to and probably a nasty memo to follow.
Chuck, thanks very much. That's our Delta halftime speak with Coach Mark Richt. And it's brought to you by Delta, the official airline of the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia 7, Georgia Tech 7 here in this 107th edition of the Bulldogs and Yellow Jackets rivalry. It's halftime now here in Athens. Hondo and the gang with your intermission fun right after this timeout on the Bulldogs Sports Network from IMG.
Welcome to the BB&T Halftime Show. BB&T, sharing knowledge for a brighter direction. Anchoring our coverage, here's Neil Hondo Williamson.
Welcome back to Sanford Stadium. Twice this year, Georgia has not punted in a football game. Jay Black, our statistician, tells me we've punted only 4 times in the last 4 games. So far today, Georgia has punted only once. Unfortunately, that's because we fumbled inside the Georgia Tech 2-yard line 2 times. One Nick Chubb touchdown has been equaled by a touchdown pass from Justin Thomas of Georgia Tech, and we're knotted at 7 apiece here in Athens, the Dogs and the Jackets. Twice the Bulldogs knocking on the door. Nick Chubb fumbling once as he ran into the back of one of our men, and we coughed the ball up on the 3. He was actually on the 1 when he did that. Sonny Michel on a nice little touchdown run, it appeared to be, or a nice little run for 11 yards. He fumbled on the 1 into the end zone. Tech able to recover that, and we're 7-7. Mike Fortin, Georgia senior nose guard, like the other seniors on the team, has only 1 more half to go in his last game between the hedges. Steve Bell spoke with Michael this week. Mike Fortin is your State Farm Athlete of the Week.
Thank you, Hondo, and happy holidays, Bulldog fans. At 6'1" and 290 pounds, Stone Mountain, Georgia native Michael Thornton told me he was trying to remember every moment of this week of preparations before his last home game between the hedges.
My last home game ever at the University of Georgia, and I wouldn't want it to be anywhere else. It's an amazing feeling.
Tell me what you've loved most about being a Georgia Bulldog.
Just the camaraderie, man. Just all different types of players from all different types of backgrounds come here, and it's one big family, and that's what I love the most.
Tell me what you're not going to miss once you graduate.
I would say mat drills. Yeah, I say mat drills is one thing that I won't miss.
Tell me about the game you remember the most in your career here.
The game, the Capital One Bowl. That was right after we had a defensive line coach leave us, and that was when I really, got some actual playing time. That was 2 years ago. I really got some good playing time that game, and it was my birthday, and we won that game.
And Hondo, you, Eric, and Scott need to be aware Michael is a communication studies major and may go for a career in the broadcast booth. I'm Steve Bell with Michael Thornton, helping the Dogs get to a better state. Michael Thornton is your State Farm Athlete of the Week.
Thank you, Steve. 7-7 here at the break. Tech will get the ball first in the second half. We'll come back with scores from around the nation and statistics from this game here, as well as Eric and Scott and Chuck Dowdle with your second half play-by-play. Stay with us. This is the Bulldog Sports Network from IMG.
Welcome back to the BB&T Halftime Show. Now a check of the college football scoreboard, presented by Sherwin-Williams. Painting questions? Ask Sherwin-Williams. From inside the IMG Network studios, here's Cabell Philpott.
Drew Brandon filling in for Cabell Philpott this afternoon as Georgia and Georgia Tech are tied up at 7 between the hedges. We'll look at games in the SEC. Currently 21st ranked Clemson taking on South Carolina. Could this be the year that the Tigers take this ball game? That's Todd Ellis on the Gamecock IMG Sports Network with the call as the Tigers lead South Carolina heading into halftime by a score of 21-10. A bit of a shocker today from Louisville as the 22nd ranked Cardinals are falling at the hands of the Kentucky Wildcats a minute and a half before halftime. The Wildcats lead the Cardinals by a score of 20-14. Other games coming up in the SEC this afternoon at 3:30. Florida will take on third-ranked Florida State from Tallahassee. The Egg Bowl has big SEC title game implications. At 3:30, fourth-ranked Mississippi State will take on 19th-ranked Ole Miss from Oxford. At 4 o'clock this afternoon, Vanderbilt, in search of its first SEC win of the season, will host the Tennessee Volunteers, and then the Iron Bowl tonight at 7:45. Number 1 Alabama, number 15 Auburn from Tuscaloosa. Alabama wins. They head to the SEC championship game to face Missouri. Alabama loses and Mississippi State wins. Then the Bulldogs will head to Atlanta next week. On to the top 25. A couple of good games as we look at rivalry week here across the country, including a good one from Columbus between 6th-ranked Ohio State and the Michigan Wolverines. That's Jim Brandstatter on the Michigan IMG Sports Network as Michigan and Ohio State locked up at 14 apiece heading into halftime. All tied up in Athens this afternoon as well between Georgia and Georgia Tech. 7 apiece between the Dogs and the Jackets. And more of our BB&T halftime show comes up after this on the Bulldog Sports Network from IMG.
Now more of the BB&T Halftime Show. Let's get a check of the first half stats, presented by Scana Energy. Switch to Scana Energy and save big all season long. Once again, here's Neil Hondo Williamson.
BB&T is proud to support the Georgia Bulldogs. BB&T, sharing knowledge for a brighter direction. Member FDIC. 2 costly fumbles by the Bulldogs have allowed Georgia Tech to stay in this thing. We're knotted at 7 apiece here at the half in Athens. Dogs dominating really until the last 3.5 minutes of the first half. Georgia with 228 yards in the first half of total offense. Tech with 183, able to rack up 80 of those on that final drive after Sony Michel fumbled into the Tech end zone, allowing the Jackets to get the touchback and start out on the 20-yard line. Individually for the Bulldogs, Nick Chubb, 14 carries, 117 yards already. He has a long of 65. He was caught on the 1-yard line and unfortunately fumbled 2 plays later, negating another super chance for the Bulldogs to score and widen their margin on the Jackets. Sony Michel is playing today. 7 carries for 33 yards thus far for Sony. Hudson Mason is 8 of 9 passing for 88 yards for the Bulldogs. Over on the Georgia Tech side, their carries spread out a little more. St. John Days with 7, Justin Thomas with 7, Zach Lasky with 6, and Charles Perkins with 3. And they're 119 rushing yards divided among those 4 pretty equally. Days the leader with 36 yards on the ground. Those are your Scana halftime stats. We'll come back with more with Scott Howard and Eric Zier as they review the end of the first half and let you know what you should look forward here in the second half as the Dogs will put it to Tech, hopefully, and finish out the season with a 10-2 record and a 6th win in a row over the Yellow Jackets. This has been your BB&T Halftime Report, sharing knowledge for a brighter direction, member FDIC. Stay with us. This is the Bulldog Sports Network from IMG.
Scott Howard back here at Sanford Stadium. Halftime, Georgia 7, Georgia Tech 7. The second half goals are presented by Wells Fargo Advisors, helping investors achieve financial goals with strategies for every stage of life. Visit wellsfargoadvisors.com. See, what are our goals for the second half other than not turning over the football anymore?
Well, I think you just nailed it. That's it. Offensively, we're doing a lot of good things. We're running the football very effectively. It's just 2 turnovers at the goal line can prove to be a killer, and obviously Georgia Tech taking advantage of that very much in this ball game right now at 7-7 in a game that they've been outplayed for the vast majority of it. So not a whole lot of change really on either side of the football schematically with what we've been trying to do. We've been in control of the football game. Just on the scoreboard, not so much because of those turnovers. Now, very important coming out here at halftime that we're able to slow down this Georgia Tech attack. They've been very good in the third quarters of football games this year and do a nice job making adjustments. So we'll see what they look at doing here and see if we can make some quick adjustments to top them.
First half yardage by quarter, Georgia had 165 yards in the first quarter to 42 for Georgia Tech. And that was turned around in the second quarter. Tech grinding out 141 yards of offense, 63 for the Bulldogs in that second quarter. But as we've pointed out, Georgia's fumbled it twice inside, well, really at the 1 yard line. I mean, we had it on the 1 when Nick fumbled at the 3 trying to run into the pile or run over the pile. He coughed it up, and then Sony Michel on the other end of the field fumbled it trying to reach the ball across the goal line, and it was knocked out at the 1, and Tech recovered it in the end zone for the touchback. So Georgia's been doing good things, and that's the thing that hasn't been good. The obvious thing, certainly. You don't really want to go away from what's been working, and everything they've done has been working, and just hang on to the football.
Yeah, just hang on to the football is right, and we talk about it all the time, the importance of not giving up possessions. You know that this Georgia Tech offense will get things going as the game progresses. They've held the ball for just over 16 minutes so far. They get the ball coming out here at halftime, so our defense has been on the field quite a bit. In Georgia Tech, the way they attack you, all the chop blocks, they just get at your legs and wear you down. So we can't have any more lost possessions in this football game on the offensive side of the ball, because you have to imagine that and assume that Georgia Tech's going to put some points on the board.
Nick Chubb with 117 yards net in the first half, over 100 yards for the 7th straight game for the freshman from Cedartown, Georgia. On 14 carries, he has the lone touchdown for the Dogs on a 1-yard run. And then Georgia Tech with its points late in the first half. They scored with 8 seconds to go in the second quarter on a 7-yard touchdown pass from Thomas to Waller, capping a 14-play, 80-yard drive. So here we go, ready for half number 2, as Georgia will kick it away. And Jamal Golden is the deep receiver. He stands on the goal line, this side of the near hash, and that's where the ball appears to be headed. Down at the 7, Golden fields it, returns it to the 15, to the 20, middle of the field, 26, flagged down back at the 15-yard line. He was tackled at the 26 by Costa Vavlis. And check the flag back at the 15. That one should come back a little ways for Georgia, for Tech, rather, block in the back against the Yellow Jackets. And they'll mark it off from the 15. So Tech will start in a hole to begin the second half. 7-7 ball game. Do you know someone who makes an impact on their community? Team UGA, presented by Georgia Power, is now accepting nominations for members who demonstrate an unselfish giving attitude. Submit your nominations on GeorgiaDogs.com.
And Georgia Tech walking into the huddle actually looked at the Georgia fans and started telling them to make a little bit of noise. We obliged.
Thomas will hand it off straight up the gut, and St. John Days tripped up as he had a lot of running space. So Marlo Herrera tripped him up, just got enough of his leg. He stumbles forward to the 20. He gets a first down, 12 yards quickly for Days, the senior from Marietta. Boy, he probably could have been running for Days if Herrera doesn't tackle him there.
Boy, there's no question about it. Ramik Wilson, first one into the pile, misses the tackle. We've talked about the importance of first man to the ball carrier, gets the ball carrier on the ground. Didn't happen there, and we're fortunate that was only a first down play.
Long snap count. Tech may have moved. Now flags fly from the near sideline.
First snap, false start.
False start on Georgia Tech.
5-yard penalty.
Trey Braun, the left guard, a 6'5", 294-pound junior from Tallahassee, Florida, moved a little bit early. And that'll mark off the ball back to the 16. Marlo Herrera now with 100 tackles on the season after that last stop. The senior linebacker from College Park has been racking them up this year. First and 15 for the Yellow Jackets, back on the 16-yard line. Handoff to Perkins. He was the back on the left edge of the backfield for Georgia Tech. And he runs straight ahead into the line to the 18-yard line for a couple. Mike Thornton, the nose man, a senior from Stone Mountain, on the stop for Georgia. It'll be second and about 13 to go now for Tech. Just underway here in the second half. We're tied at 7.
The inside trap there by Georgia Tech. Absolutely nothing doing as a host of Bulldogs led by Mike Thornton off their blocks very quickly.
Thomas going to run option to the far side. He pitches it out to Hill. Dion Hill runs away from one tackler and then is stopped by Ray Drew, who's having a nice game. The senior from Thomasville, Georgia, makes another stop. This time at the 30-yard line, but almost a first down for Georgia Tech. It'll be 3rd and 1. A pickup of 12. And this will be a Chevy 3rd and Growl 3rd down for Georgia's defense. Brought to you by your Georgia Best Chevy dealer. 3rd and 1 for the Yellow Jackets. Handoff. Days starts straight, bounces outside. He gets the first down and more. Ridden down to the turf at the 41-yard line. Ramik Wilson and Marlo Herrera on the stop, but way downfield, he got 12 yards or 11 yards. Ball on the 41.
Well, Scott, we're starting to see this Georgia Tech offensive line win the battle at the line of scrimmage right now. The last series of the first half, you saw it start to happen where they were taking control. A couple of big gashing runs to start this half as well.
Thomas handoff Days. Yeah, he's got some running room. Days knocked down at the 45-yard line. Herrera and Wilson again on the tackle, and they kind of hit each other too going down. And Marlo a little slow to get up, trying to walk that one off. He took a pretty good pop from his teammate around the headgear. 2nd down and 6 for the Yellow Jackets. They got 4 on that run by St. John Days. One receiver near side, one to the far side for the Yellow Jackets. Perkins goes in motion. They hand it to Days. He fumbled the football! He got it ripped out of his arms, but I think he fell on it, or one of the Tech linemen fell on it. They're going to try to unpile it. We'll see. Yep, Tech recovered it. My goodness.
Well, that was Ramik Wilson that got in there and stripped the football from St. John Days. Unfortunately for the Dogs, we can't fall on it, but another big hole opened up by this Georgia Tech offensive line.
They got 6 yards on that. Tech recovers it at the Georgia 49. 1st and 10 in Dogs territory now. Moving to our left. Handoff running straight ahead is Lasky. And Lasky is... Floyd's all over his back trying to drive him down, but he's laying on top of bodies. They can't get him to touch the ground. Ramik Wilson was laying under him. And Leonard Floyd hit him on the top and tried to drive him into the turf, but Lasky kept moving and down to the 42-yard line. He got 7 yards.
Yeah, again, that's just the power of the Georgia Tech offensive line wearing down our defense. And keep in mind this Georgia Tech running scheme. They're at the legs constantly of a defensive line and just wear on you as the game progresses.
Handoff again. Lasky's got running room. Lasky 30, Lasky 25, and Swan Herrera, they're trying to rip the ball out of his arms. He's got it covered up with both arms, and they twist him out of bounds down around the 20-yard line. Now Tech's getting those big gashing runs. They'll spot it actually on the 19-yard line, 23-yard gain for Zach Lasky, the senior from Peachtree City, and Tech is threatening at the Dogs' 19, first and 10 there.
And there's nothing fancy with what Tech is doing right now. It's the first option of that triple option scheme that they've got, the dive to the fullback, and they're taking it just off tackle or off guard, I should say, in between the guard and the tackle and moving the pile.
Matt Moore issues a sideline warning for Georgia Tech. First and 10 Jackets on the Dogs' 19. We're tied at 7, third quarter. Tech driving, handoff, Days, left tackle, Days to the 10, Days to the 5, Days to the 3. We'll see if they bring it back a little bit. St. John Days running low and hard, and for first down yardage, Mauger and Sanders converge on the tackle. They will spot it on the 4. 15 more yards for Georgia Tech in this opening possession of the second half. We're told that DeAndre Smelter is out of the game right now with a knee injury. But they don't appear to need him at this point. This is the 10th play of the drive, all on the ground. Handoff, Days at right tackle. Days down to the 1.5-yard line before red shirts deny him the end zone. Ray Drew, Ramik Wilson make the stop for Georgia. Second and goal from the 2-yard line for Georgia Tech, threatening to take the lead for the first time today.
Yeah, we'll see if the Dogs can bow their necks here and get a little payback. 2 balls fumbled in the first half by the Dogs going in. One on the 3-yard line, one fumbled into the end zone and recovered by Georgia Tech. It'd be nice to turn that around right here.
Summers wide to the right, Waller to the left. Second goal from the 2. They'll keep it on the ground. Days stopped at the line of scrimmage. We stack him up with 3 and pull him back with Leonard Floyd. As Wilson and Herrera and Bailey and Drew all in there, and Leonard Floyd was trying to pull him back. No gain on the play. Third and goal from the 2. It's a Chevy third and growl, third down, brought to you by your Georgia Best Chevy dealer. Big third down coming up for Georgia's defense here. Tech driving into that Georgia section in the end zone. Third down and 2. Dog fans making some noise. Play clock at 11. Thomas looks back over his shoulder to the Tech sideline. Now he's barking out the play. Man in motion. And Thomas will fake it and keep it and run in behind the block. No signal yet. He pushed towards the goal line. Georgia came out of the pack with the football. Georgia's got the ball. They're running down the other way. Damian Swan. There's no whistle. Swan's going to go all the way, I think. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Damian Swan. They pulled it out of the back and went 97 yards with the football. Touchdown, Swan.
Boy, how about that for turnaround and then some. Somehow we stripped the football out. All the referees were coming in, about to blow their whistle, and I think they were as shocked as anybody to see Damian Swan streaking down the sideline.
Paul Johnson's out on the field asking for a timeout. Certainly they want a play reviewed on that. There was no whistle. The play was not blown dead. Georgia tried to line up and kick the extra point.
Well, I'm not sure what they're going to review here if there were no whistles on the play.
If you can't see in the pile, they didn't call it. I mean, they didn't call it a dead ball as far as we know. They will review it, however. Matt Moore, the referee, Gerald Hodges, the replay official. Matt Moore is going to put on the headsets. Let's go down to the field. Chuck Dowdle, Cook's Pest Control Report. Chuck?
Several of the Tech players were signaling touchdown, so they may be looking to see if the ball crossed the goal line. and then it would have been a touchdown. But you're right. Other than that, you can't review the other part. I mean, they definitely came out of there with it without a whistle. Matt Moore himself went down, stood on the Georgia goal line, and put up his hands for touchdown.
Well, and I'll tell you, the couple of views that we've seen on replay, very difficult to see if that ball crossed the goal line. It was close as Justin Thomas kept it, followed St. John Days, and trying to get into the end zone. The Dogs just stood him up, and Damian Swann ripping that football out of his hands.
Look. Yeah.
But it's there. That's got to be touchdown, Georgia.
Here's the call from Matt Moore.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
This place erupts. Damian Swann. Well, that had to be 97 or 98 yards as he stole that ball and ran to the house with it. That touchdown brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book now only at southwest.com. Here's the point after try, Marshall Morgan. The kick is up. The kick is good. And Sanford Stadium is a happy place once again. And that's the wonderful Wonder Bread extra point. 14-7, Georgia leading Tech. Third quarter with 8:42 to go. Timeout. We're back in a moment on the Bulldogs Sports Network from IMG. Damian Swann officially with a 99-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Georgia's fourth defensive score this year. Their third fumble return for a TD as Swann joins Dominic Sanders and Josh Dawson as those players scoring a touchdown after a fumble. That's your Georgia Metals drive summary. From a doghouse to a dog's house, Georgia Metals has got you covered. 14-7, Dogs lead Tech. Let's go down to Chuck on the sidelines again. Cook's Pest Control Report. Chuck?
Guys, after that little jaunt, Damian Swann just leaned over, set the ball down behind the goal line, came over to the sideline. Somebody held up a sign right behind the Georgia bench says, "We run this state." Damian looked up like, "Yeah, I just did."
He just about ran the length of it. Yeah, he stole that ball in a pile down on the goal line to our left and chugged it in the sunshine all the way down the other end. 99 yards for the score to give the Dogs the lead. Jamal Golden to receive the kick from Marshall Morgan. He puts his foot into this one. An end-over-end kick going to come down a yard deep in the end zone. Golden going to run it out to the 5, to the 10, near hash, cuts to the right, tripped up at the 11-yard line by Tim Kimbrough. He's been terrific on special teams, and Georgia has a player shaken up. That is Costa Vavalis shaken up on the play. Tech will have the ball on the, where they spotted, the 11 or the 12-yard line. Looks like they're going to put it down on the 12 between the hash marks. 14-7, Dogs lead, 8:35 to go, third quarter. Football fans love a great drive to the end zone, and drivers love a great drive on the road. So always fill up with Texaco with Techron. For great performance you can count on. Texaco with Techron, driving performance. Trainers are looking at Costa Vavalis, who was shaken up on the kickoff there. He's laying on his back as he's being tended to by Ron Corson and his staff. Dogs, meantime, will huddle up about 6 or 7 yards off the sideline on the near side of the field. Tech kind of a halfway huddle, waiting on play to come back in. Fans, don't forget to tune in for the all-new Dog Talk pregame. Live from the Georgia Center each home game. Well, we don't have any more home games. We have one more game that will be a bowl game, and we'll do Dog Talk pregame for the bowl game. So that's your next opportunity to tune in, but thanks to the Georgia Center for hosting that all season long. Vavalis is up and walking off slowly under his own power.
Yeah, and hopefully that was just a cramp. It looks like he's up walking under his own power a little bit gingerly right now, but holding his hamstring, maybe down to his calf a little bit. But if anything there, first and foremost that he's okay. But a nice little rest there for the Georgia defense that had to get right back out on the field.
Mike Eckler, who works closely with special teams, out to greet Vavalis as he came off the field, and a slap on the back from Mark Richt as well as Tech gets up to the line quickly to snap it. Now flags and whistles and illegal procedure on the Yellow Jackets. That'll back them up from the 12, put them back on the 7. Well, Georgia's taken the lead here in the second half without the benefit of an offensive play.
Yeah, and grabbed the momentum as well. Got this crowd back up and into it. The illegal procedure penalty pushing Tech back another 5 yards. You've got the momentum now, Dogs. Go do something more with it.
I believe this is the 13th play of the half for Tech. Georgia hasn't run any from the offensive side, but we had a big old giant play on defense, didn't we?
That we did.
99-yard fumble return for Swan. Days takes the handoff. Thomas, I don't think, wanted to give it to him. Days was taking it, and that cost him on the exchange as the Dogs hit Days around the 6 or 7. Lorenzo Carter with the tackle, and they will spot the ball on the 6. They're going to lose another yard. It's going to be 2nd and 16 for Tech on their own 6. Let's check in with Chuck again on the sidelines. Cook's Pest Control. Chuck.
All right, Mark Richt asking for this crowd to get loud. This is where they can affect the game right here. Make it tough on Tech to hear.
Scoreboard says make some noise, and Georgia fans are obliging. Thomas going to drop back, looking for a man to throw to. He found one wide open. B.J. Bostic hit him in the hands, and he dropped it. He was open between defensive players on a quick slant. He went in motion to the near side and then curled back towards the near hash mark and just dropped the ball that hit him in the hands. 7:51 on the clock. Stops on the incompletion. That was Tech's first pass here in the third quarter as they opened up the second half with that first possession, and a long, time-consuming possession it was. And then Damian Swan stole the ball from Thomas out of a pile as he was trying to get into the end zone, and Damian ran it back 99 yards.
Yeah, a 3 and out would be mighty beneficial here for the Dogs.
Thomas in the end zone. We're chasing with Floyd. He avoids the rush. He throws at the 1 yard line and flings it incomplete, far side of the field. Thomas just kind of recklessly running around out of the end zone, just stepped out at the 1 and flung it downfield before he was chased or hit. Chased out of bounds, that is. And throws an incomplete pass, and Tech will have to punt out of the end zone. Line of scrimmage is the 6, and it'll be Ryan Rodwell. He's about a yard inside the back line of the end zone to kick. Receiving for Georgia will be Isaiah McKenzie. He stands on the Tech 45-yard line. There's the snap. Rodwell gets it away. Not a long kick. Going to come down point first and take a Georgia bounce, high bounce, and Tech will touch it down at the 36 or the 37-yard line. Isaiah McKenzie stayed away about 10 yards, a 31-yard punt. Dogs ball on the Tech 36. Third quarter leading it 14-7 over the Jackets. We're back in a moment on the Bulldog Sports Network from IMG. Back in the Georgia's own credit union booth here at Sanford Stadium. Dogs start in Tech territory. 1st and 10 on the Tech 36. We'll run it with Nick Chubb to the near side. Chuck down inside the 35, or Chubb rather, down to the 34-yard line, and is tripped up there as he ran to the right side of the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down, a gain of about 3. Second down and 7 from the 33-yard line.
Then you know the Dogs here want to chew up a little clock. Over the last 24-plus minutes, Georgia Tech has controlled the ball 18 minutes. That goes all the way back to the first quarter. So defensively, we've been on the field quite a bit.
I formation, Payne the fullback, Chubb the tail, gets the handoff, cuts it left guard. Tech piles him up around the 32. He won't get a lot if he got about a yard, I guess, to the 32-yard line perhaps. Trying to run between the tackles, and not easy that time. Third down for the Dogs. 3rd down and 7 coming up.
And it's tough offensively when you haven't been on the field all that much. You get out of game rhythm and very difficult to get back into it. Converting here, Dogs are 2 out of 5, but converting on this one would go a long way to help with that momentum.
Yeah, first offensive series of the half. Mason going to throw. Oh, he overthrew the receiver, and then Tech intercepted it and then dropped it. He overthrew Michael Bennett, and then Damon Smith had it hit him right in the shoulder pads around his chest, and he dropped it, and there's a flag at the 31-yard line. Matt Moore is the referee. He's going to go on Georgia. Hondo thinks it might be a hold on the Dogs.
Illegal formation. 5 men in the backfield on the offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
So there you hear illegal formation on Georgia. So the incomplete pass brings up 4th down, and Marshall Morgan's going to try a long field goal here. Line of scrimmage is the 32. Adam Erickson is the holder. Nathan Theus is the snapper. Marshall Morgan the kicker to try between the hashes, kicking right from 49.5 yards. Try to give Georgia a 10-point lead. There's the snap and the hold. The kick is blocked. And there's a scramble for the football at the 37-yard line. Tech has blocked our kick. We blocked one of theirs. And Tech has blocked one of ours now. And Tech will have the football. Adam Gotsis, the defensive tackle, blocked the kick for Georgia Tech. That's their 6th block kick of the year, most in the country. Timeout with 6:05 to go in the 3rd quarter. 14-7, Georgia leading Tech. We'll be back after this. Bulldog Sports Network from IMG. Academy Sports and Outdoors is a proud corporate partner of UGA Athletics. Right stuff, low price, every day. Tech blocks a 49-yard field goal try from Marshall Morgan. First blocked kick he's had in his Georgia career. The first time a Georgia field goal has been blocked since Blair Walsh had a kick blocked by Auburn back in 2008. We blocked one of theirs today. They blocked one of ours. We still lead 14-7, 6:05 to go in the 3rd quarter. Tech ball on their own 37-yard line, 1st and 10. Motion man comes this way. They hand it off to Lasky. Breaks free of a tackle. Still running into Georgia territory at the 45. He ran away from Rameek Wilson and just kept on chugging down the field down to the 44.5. Marlo Herrera finally brings down Lasky, who hit that hole in a hurry and got 13, 18, 19 yards on that run straight up the gut.
Yeah, and Tech right now, just to check with me at the line of scrimmage, and they're running right at the bubble. We actually moved our linebackers over to a strong position, so created that bubble weak, and then trying to get support from a corner coming back in.
Lasky gets it again. This time we clogged the hole at right guard. He won't go anywhere. He may have fallen forward for a yard. Lorenzo Carter, the freshman linebacker, hit him first. Rameek Wilson, the senior from Tampa, comes in to get a piece of him. And they will give him one. 2nd down and 9. Ball on the Georgia 42. 5:10 to go. 3rd quarter. Clock moving. Dogs lead by a touchdown. A Nick Chubb 1-yard run and a Damian Swan 99-yard fumble return for a score. Tech has a 7-yard pass for their lone touchdown. They toss it to the near side to Perkins. Charles Perkins, a senior from Lawrenceville, takes a pitch, runs near side inside the 40 down at the 39-yard line. He'll get 3. It'll be 3rd down and 6 and about 5.5, 6 yards to go for Georgia Tech. Georgia crowd making some noise here. Yellow Jackets 5 of 12 on 3rd down opportunities today.
And a nice play on that last run by Georgia Tech by Damian Swan. Somehow fought off a nice block by Georgia Tech to get an arm in on the ball carrier.
2 receivers in this set. They go in motion, hand it off. No, fake it. Now Thomas will pitch it out to Hill on the far side. Will chase him, but can't get him at the corner, and he cuts up and gets the 1st down at the 33-yard line. We had Mauger out there chasing him and Rameek Wilson, but they couldn't quite get to him. Damian Swan, he cut up and got the 1st down at the 33-yard line. He got 6, just enough to move the sticks and keep the Tech possession alive. 4 minutes to go in the quarter. Tech on the Georgia 33-yard line, trailing 14-7.
Well, the importance there of tackling at first contact. Tech running through a couple of arm tackles on that one.
Thomas keeps it, fakes it. Now he pitches it late, and he's got Hill on the far side. Deion Hill takes a late pitch as Thomas was being tackled when he tossed it. And Hill downfield to the 16-yard line. He got 17 yards on that. And that, again, risky. A lot of risk involved in Justin Thomas's play at quarterback.
Well, and you just can't execute the triple option any better than that. But actually turned that up field as if he were going to run it. Had a couple of Bulldogs on him. Damian Swan, who's got the pitch man, collapsed in on Thomas, and that's right when he pitched it.
Perkins in motion. They fake it and then hand it off to the second man through. Running straight ahead, down inside the 10-yard line. Dennis Andrews is the ball carrier. They spot the ball right on the 10. And it'll be second down there. Second down and 4 to go for Tech. He gets 6 on the carry. Georgia Tech quickly coming back, trying to tie the ball game. Dogs forced a Tech punt out of their own end zone. Took over on the Tech 37. Then had a field goal block. Tech trying to cash in on that. Lasky off right tackle, jumping over bodies on the ground, down inside the 5-yard line, down to the 4. Getting up off the pile, Ramik Wilson and Ray Drew. It's first and goal for the Yellow Jackets at the Georgia 4. Mauger comes out of the ball game for the Bulldogs. Sterling Bailey comes in. A little more beef across the line of scrimmage for Georgia. First and goal from the 4. Everybody in tight. Handoff Lasky. Oh, he waltzes into the end zone. Big hole at left tackle and a touchdown, Georgia Tech. 4-yard run from Lasky. Well, they just went right through our defense that time.
Yeah, they did. And that is just a sign that our defense has been on the field for way, way too long. Only 3 plays from the Georgia offense in this quarter with 2 minutes and 13 seconds left. Dogs offensively have got to get something rolling just to give our defense a break. You can see big holes now being opened up on the past couple of drives, really going back to the end of the first half. That drive as well where Tech finding all kinds of running room.
63 yards on the drive, 8 plays. The point after try by Butker is up and good, and we are tied once again at 14. 2:13 to go in the third quarter. And the Yellow Jackets have tied it up. Georgia, simply Z, just has not taken advantage of scoring opportunities. We fumbled it twice near the goal line, and then we have a field goal blocked. And so far, Tech has cashed in on 2 of those plays for points.
Yeah, they have. And fortunately for the Dogs, we've actually been opportunistic as well. We block a field goal attempt of theirs. We strip it out as Tech was going in at the goal line, and we get 7 points out of it. So maybe some of that evening up just a little bit. But what you're concerned about right now, Dogs offensively have not been on the field much at all, really going back into the first quarter in a defense that is visibly worn down.
Both of these teams are high-powered offenses. Georgia averaging 43 points. Tech right around 38 points per ball game. And we're sitting here with a 14-14 contest with just 2 minutes and 13 seconds left in the third quarter. Let's check in with Chuck on the sidelines. Cook's Pest Control Report. Chuck?
Eric, to your point, Hudson Mason was over having to throw quite a bit here with Chris Conley just trying to get his arm loose. Like you say, 3 plays so far in this quarter, and they haven't been able to establish any rhythm. So I guess as a quarterback, what you do is you come over and throw on the sideline just to try to get your arm loose.
Yeah, Chuck, you do everything that you can just to stay loose, keep that lather up. Because, you add in halftime into this mix as well. It's been a long time since the Dogs have been on the field to sustain anything. So the fact that Hudson Mason's over there trying to get warmed up and loosened up, not surprising at all.
Well, since the Sony Michel fumble in the second quarter, Tech has run 37 plays from scrimmage. Georgia has run 3. Wow. 2:13 to go, third quarter. We're tied at 14. Tech to kick it away after a 63-yard scoring drive to tie the ball game. Here's Butker's long kick on a sail deep in the end zone and out of the end zone. Back line, it bounces for the touchback. McKenzie just watches it sail. Dogs will have the ball first and 10 on the 25. Dog fans, today's football broadcast available in multi-platforms at the Georgia Dogs Game Day Live app, TuneIn Radio app, GeorgiaDogs.com. and all of our great stations along the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. No reason to miss your Dogs on game days, no matter where you are. Be sure to tune in and listen. And stay with us after the game today for the BB&T Dog Talk post-game show. Exclusive interviews and your calls with Jeff Dantzler and Kevin Butler live from the Georgia Center. First and 10, Georgia on the 25. We're tied up again at 14 apiece. Three receivers in the sunshine to the left. Mason looks to the right, will throw it in the shade. Chubb out of the backfield makes a catch. And down to the 35-yard line. A 10-yard pickup on the quick throw to Nick Chubb. Tackled by Quayshawn Neely, the linebacker. It's a first down for Georgia. The Dogs move the chains and quickly up to the line of scrimmage, ready to go again.
Just an angle route there out of the backfield by Chubb. And Georgia Tech brought strong safety pressure there. No hot read as you can get that football out on that angle route very quickly. Exactly what the Dogs did.
McKenzie in motion to the far side. We fake the throw to him, and we set up a screen with Chubb, but pressure for Georgia Tech on Hudson Mason forces the Georgia quarterback to just throw it at the feet of Nick Chubb. Incomplete, and it'll be second down and 10.
Dogs there trying to set up that screen pass. Just fake the bubble screen outside to Isaiah McKenzie. But Tech had Nick Chubb corralled with a number of defenders. Smart decision there by Hudson Mason just to throw it in the dirt.
Clock stopped with a 1:47 to go in the third quarter. 14-14 ball game. Dogs ball on our 35. Second down and 10 coming up. We work out of the shotgun. Three receivers set. Here comes Tech. Mason in the pocket. Will throw deep far sideline. He's got Conley, and it is incomplete. Conley around the 20-yard line, sprinting and stretching for it, but just out of the reach of his grasp. Chris Milton was in coverage, the junior corner from Folkestone, Georgia. And Conley, one of the 27 seniors here, couldn't quite get to it. A long incompletion will bring up third down and 10.
Yeah, good thought there by the Dogs. Had one-on-one coverage outside. Conley got on top of his man. Just not quite enough air on that football, on that deep ball for Conley to run under. That needed to be a perfect throw.
Third down and 10, four receivers in for the Dogs. Mason on the near hash, throws it over the middle, a little bit behind, but caught by, is that Rump? And a face mask, I think. There was no flag on the play. Damon Smith made the tackle. Jonathan Rump made a nice catch in traffic, got the first down, and pushed the ball across midfield to the Tech 48-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup.
Boy, was that ever a great catch. Rump went down those big, strong hands and able to corral that one with the Georgia Tech defender all over him. And a nice job up front by our big boys, giving Hudson plenty of time to make that read and throw.
First and 10 on the Tech 48, moving to our right, late third quarter. Handoff goes to Chubb on the read option. Chubb around right tackle, trying to chug his way for yardage. Pushes the ball forward to about the 46, maybe the 47-yard line, depending on the spot. And tackled by Anthony Harrell, a linebacker for Georgia Tech. Ball inside the Tech 47, only got a yard. Second down for the Dogs, less than 40 seconds to go in the quarter. In a tie ball game, 14 apiece. Dogs send Conley and Mitchell out to the left. Chubb in the backfield. Mason works out of the shotgun. Snap from the Tech 47. Mason with time in the pocket. Throws down the middle. And a reaching grab caught. Holy smokes, what a grab. Malcolm Mitchell coming from the left slot. He looks like he might be shaken up on the play. Took a pretty good hit on that reaching catch at the 30-yard line. Got undercut by Damon Smith. But a first down for Georgia. Ball, they put it on the 29, actually. And a gain of, 18 yards? First down, Georgia. Terrific catch by Malcolm Mitchell.
Yeah, that it was. Just an inside post by Malcolm Mitchell. And one thing that you saw, Tech safeties coming up very quick.
That's going to be the end of the quarter. Dogs lined up in the eye. Didn't get the snap off, and the clock hits 0 for quarter number 3. 15 more minutes to go. We got a good finish coming, I think. 14-14, Georgia and Georgia Tech as the rivalry continues here on the Bulldogs Sports Network from IMG. Welcome back to Bulldogs football. Drinking a cold Coke Zero is like finding your taste buds wide open in the end zone. Sounds like a plan as we get ready to start quarter number 4, tied at 14. Dogs with the ball, first and 10 on the Tech 29. Don't forget to download the Flash Foods mobile app for great savings and convenience, available for iPhone and Android users. Hudson Mason, 11 of 15 for 132 today. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Nick Chubb, the leading ball carrier for the Dogs. 17 carries, 123 yards. and 7 straight 100-yard rushing games now for the freshman from Cedartown. For Tech, Justin Thomas, the quarterback, 6 of 16, 64 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions. St. John Days is the leading rusher for the Yellow Jackets, 15 carries, 86 yards. Here we go, quarter number 4. We send Mason out to the right. Run out of the Wildcat with Chubb. Takes the direct snap. Chubb running laterally this way and cuts upfield just before he runs out of bounds, and he may have gotten a yard. No, he's actually going to lose a yard. He ran out of bounds at the 30. Ran all the way down the line from the far hash, and Tech read it well and defended it even better. And Chubb loses a yard back to the 30. It'll be 2nd down and 11.
Tech there brought safety support down. That's the 3rd or 4th time they've seen the wild dog formation in this football game. Finally got adjusted to it.
3 receivers right for Georgia. We move left now. Throw a little short dump pass to Chubb in the backfield. Chubb going to be tackled just inside the 30-yard line. So 2 plays generate next to nothing for the Dogs here. And quickly it's 3rd down and long. He may have gotten the yard back to the original line of scrimmage. Tremaine McNair, linebacker, a senior from Jacksonville, North Carolina, on the stop for Tech. 3rd and 10 from their 29 for the Bulldogs. Just a minute gone here in the final period. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Chubb's in the backfield, offset to Mason's left. He works out of the shotgun. Takes the snap from Andrews, drops back. Pressure by Tech. Mason going to try to avoid it, stepping up, and they will sack him back on the 30.
Boy, no chance there whatsoever for Hudson. Georgia Tech brought linebacker pressure. Actually had 2 linebackers lined up over our garden tackle on the right side. Got a good push there, and then found a seam or a crease in the offensive line right up the middle that got to Mason very quickly.
That was McNair again with the sack for the Yellow Jackets, and now we will try another long field goal. The last one was blocked. This one will be a try of 48 yards from the near hash, kicking. Oh, we fake it. We run it with Morgan. We fake it. Marshall Morgan off to the races. 20, 15, 10, 5, down to the 3. Erickson took the snap and just pitched it over his head and off. Marshall Morgan went to the far corner. We faked the field goal, and it's 1st and goal at the 3.
Boy, and a great job on the outside by Jay Rome. Huge block that allowed Marshall Morgan to gain the edge, and Marshall Morgan, showing some athletic ability, just took off.
Georgia's first fake field goal since '98 when Quincy Carter faked one. First fake field goal under Mark Richt. He pulls out the stops here against Georgia Tech. 1st and goal on the 3 on the run by Marshall Morgan. Power formation. Hicks and Maxey, the fullback, hand it to Chubb. Chubb into the line of scrimmage at right tackle. Tries to jump a little bit. Got down to the 2, I think. Dogs in the Red Baron red zone. Pick up a Red Baron pizza before the next game. Get a taste of the tradition. It'll be 2nd down and goal. Well, they move it back closer to the 3-yard line, actually on the 3.
Boy, we've had a hard time running the football down in this area of the field today. Haven't been down there much, but Georgia Tech really stiffens.
Stay with that power formation with 2 fullbacks. Fake it now to Chubb. Mason throws it, and there's Blazevich. They strip it out of his hands. He was trying to grab it. There's a flag down in the end zone. And that's probably going to be interference on Tech, as Jeb Blazevich had a man on him under the goalpost and was trying to reel that ball in, but Tech plied it out of his hands at the last second. They threw a flag in the end zone. Let's check out the call. Georgia's pointing to Tech as if it's defensive holding, and that is the call. So they'll move half the distance and give Georgia 1st down. We get a brand new set of downs to start all over again. It'll be 1st and goal from the 1.5.
Well, a really nice play call there by Mike Bobo, understanding how difficult it's been to run in this portion of the field, trying to get everybody to bite on the play action fake, which they did, forcing Georgia Tech into having to hold on Blazevich.
Hicks in motion from fullback. Run out of the eye. Toss to Chubb. He's running to the near side. Try to get to the corner. Chubb cuts up. They will chase him down on the near sideline and throw him out of bounds around the 2. Again, running laterally. Can't get any positive yards. And the ball back on the 2-yard line now. Lost about a half a yard. It's 2nd down and goal from there. Dogs break the huddle quickly up to the line. 2 fullbacks in. Handoff Chubb. He runs straight ahead. Again, we can't get anywhere.
Boy,
Chubb down at the 1.5.
And just no push whatsoever from the Georgia offensive line. That time we flipped that power formation and go to the left side of our offensive line behind Theus and Cablano, but just no push and nowhere for Nick Chubb to go.
Well, you got to cram it in the end zone here. Ball's on the 2. We put in our receivers now. Mitchell, Conley, and Bennett. We'll work out of the shotgun. Chubb offset to Mason's right. 3rd and goal from the 2. Tech's keeping us out so far. 14-14 ball game, 4th quarter. We're going to throw a fade to Bennett, far corner, over his head and incomplete. Threw it into the sunshine, far side of the field. Now on 4th and goal from the 2, you're going to have to kick the field goal, I believe. And here comes the field goal unit.
Boy, what a big defensive stand there by Georgia Tech. We just couldn't get any push whatsoever in the running game. Forced there to throw the football on 3rd and 2. We get man-to-man coverage on the outside. It was what we wanted. And then an inside fade from Bennett. Just not able to go up and get that football.
Well, spotted just inside the 10, about a 19-yard try from the near hash from Marshall Morgan. He puts it up and good. That's another All-State good hands field goal from Marshall Morgan. And with that field goal, Walton EMC Natural Gas is kicking it for charity and donating another $500 to local charities. Georgia 17, Georgia Tech 14. 11-19 to go in the game. We'll come back after this timeout on the Bulldogs Sports Network from IMG. Georgia regains the lead with a 19-yard field goal by Marshall Morgan. Included in that possession was a fake field goal by Morgan, a 28-yard run to give the Dogs 1st and goal at the 3. They couldn't punch it in, had to settle for 3. It was a 15-play, 73-yard scoring drive as the Dogs go up 17-14. That's your Georgia Metals drive summary. From a doghouse to a dog's house, Georgia Metals has got you covered. Morgan has it teed up on the far hash, kicking to our left. And Golden in the end zone, a yard deep for Georgia Tech. Here's Morgan's kick. Low, wobbly, kicks it away. They backpedal and catch it on the 2-yard line on the near sideline. Tech upfield and a serious crash at the 20-yard line with Tim Kimbrough. Matt Connors, a senior up backed up from about the 10 and caught it at the 3 and then started forward, and he's out to the 20. And hit by Kimbrough there. Tech will have the football 1st and 10 at the 20. Georgia fans know that in a world of close shaves, there's nothing better than a Barbasol close shave, except for maybe winning today's game. So lather up, Bulldogs, with Barbasol. We're back here in the Georgia Zone Credit Union booth for Georgia Tech. Final minutes, 11-13 to go in the game. Dogs up by 3, 17-14. Tech with the ball on their own 20. Thomas under center. 3 backs in the backfield, 2 receivers in the set, and Thomas fakes the handoff. He pulled it out at the last second, kept it, and he'll push it up ahead to the 25-yard line, hit by Herrera and Sterling Bailey. 2nd and 5 for the Yellow Jackets. Paul Johnson on the far side calling the play and sending his man in with the play.
Boy, and Thomas just slippery there on that option. Lorenzo Carter was in great shape to make that play behind the line of scrimmage, but Thomas just able to slither his way out of the grasp of Lorenzo Carter.
Andrews brings in the play for the Yellow Jackets. Now Hill goes in motion. They hand it off straight ahead to St. John Days. He broke a tackle at the 27, spins his way forward to about the 32, brought down by Marlo Herrera, who's over 100 tackles for the season today with his effort. 32-yard line. 1st down for the Yellow Jackets, however, on a 7-yard rush. St. John Days he might be one of those guys that as the game goes along, he gets stronger. He's a big old dude. 94 yards rushing now for Days. He hobbled off to the sidelines, however, maybe with some sort of a leg injury. Toss it to the left side to Andrews. Andrews outside the numbers, far side of the field, cuts up at the 34 and brought down by Aaron Davis at the 38, maybe the 39-yard line. He got 7. It's going to be Second down and about 3 to go for the Yellow Jackets. 9:42 on the clock. It's moving. Georgia has taken a 17-14 lead as they had to settle for a 19-yard field goal.
And Tech just keeps putting themselves in really good position. Big chunks of yardage on first down.
Hand off to Lasky. He ran into the line, stopped behind his blocker, waited for the hole to open, and then started churning his legs again, and he got about 3 yards close to the first down. It's on the 42. I think he got it. Matt Moores, yes, he indicates first down as they'll move the sticks. Bulldog fans head to Tires Plus for their $19.99 oil change and take advantage of their 30-minute guarantee when you schedule an appointment. That's another plus from Tires Plus. Tech gets the first down. The tackle was made by Jordan Jenkins, but it's first down at the 42-yard line. Approaching 9 minutes to play in the ball game. It's up for grabs. Lasky runs straight ahead into the line of scrimmage, grabbed by Rameek Wilson at the 45. They're trying to hold him up and pull him back as Georgia gang tackles. But Wilson with the initial contact at the 45-yard line, a gain of 3.
And a little better there for the Dogs on first down. At least get them into a second medium situation here. And you know, Tech, the way they've been chewing up clock, 8 minutes and 30 seconds, they're just 3, 4, 5 yards at a pop, just wearing down the Georgia defense.
Thomas going to keep it now. Pitches out late to the near side to Hill. Hill in front of the Georgia bench, running down the sideline, down to the 40-yard line. Rameek Wilson in on the stop, slow to get up. And Leonard Floyd is injured on the other end, back at the 46-yard line. And the training staff tending to him. But Tech has the ball on the Georgia 40. A 17-yard run on that option to the near side to Deion Hill, the senior from Phoenix City, Alabama.
And Georgia Tech just comes at you from so many different angles when blocking. That time, Dennis Andrews, B-back for Georgia Tech, out of the backfield, able to go in and hook Aaron Davis, who had responsibility for the pitch man there, but we lost leverage immediately on the block from Andrews.
Leonard Floyd shaken up on the play, sitting on the grass in front of the Georgia bench. Training staff taking a look at him, and TV's going to take a timeout for the injury as Floyd gets up and comes off the field. We'll take it with him. 17-14, Georgia leads Tech here in the fourth. Back in a moment, Bulldog Sports Network from IMG. Scana Energy is a proud sponsor of UGA Athletics. For every touchdown the Bulldogs score, Scana Energy will make a $500 donation to the University of Georgia General Scholarship Fund. Tech with the ball, 1st and 10 on the Georgia 40. Dogs lead it 17-14, 8:05 to go in the fourth quarter. Tech hands off to Lasky. Lasky avoids a tackle at the line and proceeds to trot 5 more yards, maybe 6, down to the 34-yard line. We had him back at the line of scrimmage. Ray Drew and Rameek Wilson stop him downfield. Was that Rankin at the line of scrimmage? It almost made the tackle. Ryan Rankin, who had some thumb surgery or wrist surgery recently. He's got a big cast on his left arm. He's in there at linebacker. It's a second down for the Yellow Jackets, 2nd and 4 from the 34-yard line.
And just too many times we are missing tackles on that initial contact.
Lasky again. This time we make initial contact with Ray Drew. He slows Lasky down enough for us to pile on with Carter and Rameek Wilson. And Jenkins in there. Got a piece of him as well. 3rd down coming up for Georgia Tech. A Chevy 3rd and Growl 3rd down brought to you by your Georgia Best Chevy dealers. Let's check in with Chuck Dowdle on the sidelines for Cook's Pest Control Report. Chuck?
Well, finally we get them into a 3rd down. They'd had 3 straight first downs off of 2 runs first down, 2 runs first down, and 2 runs first down. Thankfully now maybe we got a chance to pull out a stop here.
Get some noise on 3rd and 2 from the Georgia 32-yard line. Tech moving to our right. They trail by 3, 6:40 to go in the game. Now whistles blowing, and timeout Georgia Tech. Paul Johnson came out onto the field and ask for a time.
That's their first time out.
And we will too with 6:38 to go in the game. Georgia 17, Georgia Tech 14. Back after this. Bulldog Sports Network from IMG. Third down and 2 for Tech. They quickly break the huddle up to the line at the Georgia 32-yard line. Hill goes in motion. They hand it to Lasky. He almost fumbled the snap, or he almost fumbled the handoff, and he is able to bounce outside at left tackle, and he got the first down. He almost fumbled that thing. Thomas reached for him and tried to put it in his belly, and he bobbled it a little bit, was able to grasp it, and got the first down. Wilson and Mauger make the tackle at the 27-yard line. 5-yard gain for Lasky as he's closing in on 100 yards today. Lasky with 97 yards unofficially rushing for Georgia Tech. He only has one 100-yard rush game this year. That was against Miami. He's about to have another one. He'll get this will be a toss to Andrews wide to the left. Andrews running with the toss inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. Tech continually moving. Swan ran him out of bounds along with Herrera on the far side of the field. But he got almost the full 10 yards. They've spotted the ball on the far side at the 17-yard line. And it's going to be second down and short. Second down and maybe the length of the ball.
Yeah, early in this football game, the Dogs are doing a good job of getting off of blocks and in position to make plays. Not so much anymore. Tech making a living going over the big left side of their offensive line.
5:47. Lasky, first man through, takes the handoff, plows his way straight ahead inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. He got 3 more. Herrera and Wilson again with the tackles for Georgia. And we bring Drew and Johnson out and get Thornton and Bailey back in the ball game. First and 10 Tech at the Georgia 14-yard line. They trail 17-14.
Boy, big play here for the Dogs, too. Need to force Georgia Tech into a second-long situation, and Tech completely abandoned their pass game here in the second half and going primarily, almost solely on the ground.
They've attempted 2 and haven't completed either one of those in the second half. First and 10 from the 14. They toss it to Hill, near side. Hill running inside the 10 and brought down from behind by Sterling Bailey out of Gainesville. He rides him to the turf around the 8. He got 6. It'll be second down there. Second down and 4 for the Yellow Jackets. Clock continues to tick. 4:45, now less than that. Yellow Jackets down by a field goal, but threatening to take the lead. They haven't had the lead all day. We've been tied for much of the day, but Tech has not been in front yet. 13th play of the drive coming up on second down from the Georgia 8-yard line. They work from the near hash, turn and hand it to Lasky. Lasky's going to score a touchdown. He ran away from a tackle at the 7 and angles his way into the end zone for the score, and Tech leads for the first time today with 4:22 to go.
Boy, and just too easy right there. You can just see our defense continuing to be worn down by this rushing attack that is just relentless from Georgia Tech.
8-yard touchdown by Zach Lasky, the senior from Peachtree City. That's his 6th rushing touchdown of the season and his second 100-yard day. He's 109 yards now. Actually, he's got 2 scores today. Butker for the point after try, so 7 touchdowns for Lasky this season now. As Butker tries to give Tech a 4-point lead, the kick is up and the kick is good. And Georgia Tech leads 21-17 with 4:22 left to go in this game. Timeout here in Athens. See if the Dogs can come back when we come back here on the Bulldog Sports Network from IMG. Tech leads Georgia 21-17. Let's pause for station ID. Bulldog Sports Network from IMG. Here's the kick by Butker, a high, short pooch kick. And we let it bounce, and Tech picks it up on the bounce. Tech has recovered it. We just let it bounce. We had 2 guys that messed up. Nobody caught it. Tech caught it off a high bounce. It's their ball. It's whistled dead. at the Georgia 27-yard line. A disaster on that kickoff.
Boy, was it ever. And the nightmare from Kentucky comes back to get us. You knew that they would try it at some point in time. And they do, and we have miscommunication. Nobody goes for the football. Boy, that might be the nail in the coffin for us unless we can get a quick stop here.
Tech has the ball on Georgia's 27-yard line. 4:22 to go. Who did he kick it between? It was Rome and Hicks, and neither caught it. 1st and 10 Tech on the Georgia 27. Handoff, Lasky just scored a touchdown a few seconds ago. Runs straight ahead into the pile to the 24-yard line. Toby Johnson getting a little hot under the collar now. We don't need any penalties to make matters worse. Tech with control in the lead right now, 21-17. 4 minutes to play now. Officials have stopped the clock, and they're going to call both groups together and give them a bit of a tongue lashing as they stand together at the 27-yard line. It's time for the Let's Go Places scoring summary, driven by Toyota. Georgia had a 1-yard run by Nick Chubb to lead the scoring. Tech with a 7-yard touchdown pass from Thomas. And the Dogs got a 99-yard fumble return from Damian Swan. Tech's scored 2 touchdowns since by Lasky, and Georgia's had a field goal from Marshall Morgan. That's the Let's Go Places scoring summary, driven by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today and score a great deal on a new Toyota. Toyota, Let's Go Places.
Boy, and the Dogs have been on the defense. Defense has been on the field absolutely forever.
Ball on the 25. Lasky running through our red shirt tacklers. We're just dog tired, I think, down to the 15-yard line. Herrera and Wilson make the tackle downfield, but a 10-yard burst for Lasky. Well, if they score 7, it's likely over. If we can hold them to a field goal, we still got a shot if we can get the ball back. Ball's on the 15. It's a 1st and 10 for Georgia Tech, and they're in no hurry.
And we still have 3 timeouts left, so we're going to have to start using those pretty quick. But you're right. You've got to hold them to a field goal here if we stand any chance.
Tech walks up to the line. Play clock at 9. Game clock at 3:08 and ticking. Thomas takes the snap. Lasky, he's been a workhorse today. Runs right behind the center. And not much of a gain there. Runs right into a Marlo Herrera, who was right up in the gap at the 14-yard line. And Georgia will call a timeout.
And if we're going to mount any kind of comeback here, have to hold them to a field goal, but we're going to have to do it then without timeouts.
It'll be a 30-second timeout.
2nd down and 9 for Georgia Tech. Nose of the football, touching the 14-yard line. Tech with a 21-17 lead. Georgia Center has hosted us all season long for our Dog Talk pregame and our postgame show. Stick around for the BB&T Dog Talk postgame coming up after our broadcast today. Interviews from the locker room and your calls live from the Georgia Center. 2:59 on the clock as we use a 30-second timeout. Man, we've missed a lot of opportunities today.
Boy, that we have. 2 fumbles at the goal line. No points. Then after the fake field goal, we get the ball inside the 5-yard line. Can't punch that in for a touchdown. Have to settle for 3. Have the blocked field goal. Then have the botched kickoff where Georgia Tech is able to recover and potentially ice the game here.
And Tech has just had the ball the entire second half. 2nd down and 9 for the Yellow Jackets. Ball on the Georgia 14. Thomas going to roll to the left. Spins away from a tackler, stumbles down. He spun away from Damian Swan, and after that he kind of tripped and fell on the turf on his own. And a big 3rd down coming up for the Georgia defense. A Chevy 3rd and Growl 3rd down brought to you by your Georgia Best Chevy dealer, as Georgia will use another timeout. Ball on the 17-yard line as Thomas lost yardage trying to run down the line of scrimmage to the left, spinning and falling down between the 17 and 18. So it'll be 3rd down and 13 to go for the Yellow Jackets. The clock at 2:52 to go in the ball game.
And the Dogs there, 10 guys at the line of scrimmage were one-on-one outside. Tech saw that and tried to get the football outside to him, but pretty good coverage.
Tech Z in the second half, rushing yards, 251 for Georgia Tech. For Georgia, only 30 yards rushing in the second half.
Yeah, it's just a matter of not having the football at all here in the second half, as Tech has completely controlled this football game.
Dogs have won 5 in a row in the series. Georgia Tech, the only non-conference team to come in here and beat Georgia in Sanford Stadium under Mark Richt. He's 39-1 against non-conference opponents at home. Tech threatening to do it for a second time. 2:52 to go in the ball game. Third down and 13 yards to go. Thomas going to take the snap, roll to the right, looking downfield. He pump fakes. He lost the ball. He lost the ball. There's a scramble at the 31. I think Georgia's got it. Who recovered it? Marlo Herrera recovered the fumble. Thomas lost the ball. He was carrying it with one hand. He lost it. It's Georgia's ball on the 31-yard line. 2:41 to go. We're down 4, but we've got the ball.
Boy, what a break right there for the Dogs, and we still have one timeout left as well. Got to go 70 yards, 69 yards here, but still breath left in the Dogs.
No question. 1st and 10, Georgia on the 31-yard line. Did Tech call a timeout? Or is there an official timeout? Georgia's huddled up and ready to go. Tech's on the sideline. 2:41 to go. Now the Tech defense is coming back out. Officials are making us wait till Tech gets ready. Ball on the 31. All right, here's our opportunity. Sony Michel's in the ball game. There's the lone setback. 2 receivers to the right side for Georgia, and 2 to the left if you count the tight end, Jeb Blazevich, in the slot on the near side. And now the officials are going to talk with Paul Johnson on the far side of the field. Matt Moore, I think, is going to make an announcement, the referee.
Ruling on the field was a fumble. Head coach from Georgia Tech has challenged that ruling. Previous plays under further review.
All right, so they're going to slow it down and challenge the ruling. Let's go down to Chuck Dowdle on the sidelines. Cook Pest Control report. Chuck?
You know what? This is very similar to the situation you saw yesterday between Missouri and Arkansas, where the arm was coming forward, but he was actually, and there was no question in my mind, Justin Thomas was trying to bring the ball down and tuck it away when it came out of his hand. Now, what Paul Johnson is claiming is that that's an incomplete pass, that he was just trying to throw it and coming down with it. See, he's trying to tuck that away. That ball had already passed the point where you would release it for a pass.
Yeah, there's no question about that. He was trying to tuck it. You could see his right hand really cup that football to try to bring it into his body. It hit his thigh and bounced on the field.
The ruling on the field is confirmed.
Matt Moore says the ruling is confirmed. It's Georgia football. That cost Tech a timeout. It's Georgia ball on our 31. We've got to go 69 yards in the last 2:41 to win the game. We're down 21-17. Here we go, up to the line. Bennett and Conley wide to the right. Michelle in the backfield. Mitchell on this side. Blazevich, the tight end, on the near edge. Mason wants to pass. Here comes pressure. We throw it to the sideline and off the hands of a diving Malcolm Mitchell, incomplete at the 42.
Boy, had the look that we wanted, one-on-one outside. Malcolm Mitchell just on a quick out route. That ball thrown a little bit high and outside.
2nd and 10 now for Georgia from the 31-yard line. Mason in the shotgun. 3 receivers in the formation again. This time Blazevich with his hand on the ground at tight end. Mason with time will throw, and it's caught by Conley, middle of the field at the 50. Tackled right there around the legs at the 49-yard line. Anthony Harrell made the stop for Georgia Tech, but it's a first down Georgia ball on the 50, a gain of 19 yards. Georgia ready to go quickly. Handoff. Michelle. He runs at left tackle. Michelle down to the 45, 44, where he stumbles down to the turf. Tackled by Harrell again and Isaiah Johnson for Georgia Tech. A gain of 6. Second down and 4 from the Tech 44-yard line.
Plenty of time here for the Dogs to run their entire offense.
Clock moving at 2:05. Screen to Mitchell. Mitchell makes the catch around the block of Blazevich inside the 40 down to the 37-yard line. Clock stops temporarily for a first down. Johnson and White make the stop for Georgia Tech. Ball on the 37. 7-yard pickup for the Dogs. 1st and 10 at the Tech 37. We trail by 4. Time running out in the fourth quarter. Mason with time in the pocket stands. Now he wants to run. Now he throws it. Caught by Blazevich, and they pick his legs up and jam him into the turf at the 32-yard line. Was he past the line of scrimmage when he threw that?
Boy, he was mighty close to it. Hudson Mason moving up in the pocket and let that go. I think he got it out just before he stepped over the line of scrimmage.
Clock moving, less than 90 seconds. Handoff. Michelle. Sony straight ahead. Sony down to the 25, down to the 20. He cut it behind the block at left guard and started heading downfield down to the 20-yard line. Anthony Harrell makes the tackle as the Dogs move into the Red Baron red zone. Georgia will move the chains. 1:20 to go. 1:19. We're down 21-17. They'll put the ball on the 21-yard line, so we're not quite into the red zone. 1st and 10. Mason in the shotgun, pump fakes, throws for the end zone. Bennett is the receiver. He overthrew him. Double coverage in the right corner of the end zone, going for Michael Bennett, running a flag route, and the ball sailed over his head and landed incomplete in the back of the end zone.
Well, good thing there. Hudson Mason had a little bit too much oomph on that football as Georgia Tech was in cover 2, but closing very quickly as the corner was sifting backwards.
2nd down, 10 for the Dogs. Minute 6 to go. We trail by 4. We're on the Tech 21. Mason asking for the ball in the shotgun. Now they look to the sideline. Play clock at 10. Now it's at 8. Mason with the snap. Drops back. Sets up in the pocket. Throws quickly. Open and caught. Conley at the 9. They didn't get him on the ground. He spun away and got 3 more yards down to the 5. 1st and goal, George at the 5-yard line. 58 seconds to go.
Plenty of time on the clock. You still have 1 timeout left as well.
This has been Georgia's trouble spot all day long. 1st and goal from the 5. Dogs down 4, trying to take the lead. Mason with the time, rolls to the right, looking. Now he's just going to throw it out of the bounds. He threw it into the seats. Cleared the hedge by a good 10 yards.
Yeah, good decision there by Hudson. Really good coverage in the defensive backfield there by Georgia Tech. Hudson was looking to throw it to the corner. Just nothing there for him to let it loose at.
2nd goal, ball on the 5, 41 seconds to go. Ball game in the balance. Tech 21, Georgia 17.
Scott, you can still run the football here as well if you're Georgia, so you've got every play in the playbook open to you.
Dogs have a timeout remaining. Chubb's back in the ball game. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Now we slide Chubb out in motion left. Mason wants to throw, throws it over the middle, and did we catch it? Conley caught it, and he got sandwiched at the 1. Chris Conley made a great catch at the 1, but we're not in the end zone yet. 29-28, clock moving. It's 3rd and goal from the 1. Dogs flip-flop the offense, and now I think we have to call a time.
Previous play is under further review.
They're going to review that last play. They've called it a catch for Conley between the 1 and the 2-yard line. 22 seconds remain. Well, there was triple coverage there, and Mason somehow squeezed it in there, and Chris Conley somehow caught that thing, apparently. They're going to check it on the other end. Fans, if you want to score a little something extra with your dog ticket, sign up for StubHub Fan Rewards before you buy. You'll get at least 2% back on your tickets, plus the chance at complimentary seat upgrades, perks, and preferred access events. StubHub's the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Georgia Bulldogs. And when we're done with this one, a thriller here at Sanford Stadium. We'll award the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta game ball in our post-game show, and we'll select the Texaco star player of the game.
Well, I think this one might be coming back. It looked like Chris Conley, as he hit the ground, bobbled it. The only thing that could save us is if he hit the ground, and that's what caused the ball to pop out.
Matt Moore with the headset on. Gerald Hodges is the replay official upstairs here at Sanford Stadium. They're reviewing that last play, which on the field was called a Conley catch. Between the 1 and the 2 yard line. Georgia down 4 with 22 seconds left. trying to win the ball game.
Boy, the sledding has been so tough once we've been inside the 5-yard line in today's football game. We've had the fumble by Nick Chubb. We've had another trip down here where we had to settle for a field goal. Now 2 plays left. More than likely this will come back and get pushed to the 5-yard line. We'll get some additional time on the clock if indeed that is the case. But 2 plays now with 1 timeout, so you still have the entire playbook open to you.
As far as momentum and rhythm and all of that, what does this do for you? Is this an advantage for the offense or defense or neither?
Yeah, I think right now, if this comes back, obviously we would like to have the catch and have the football at the 1-yard line, but being able to get your composure, calm down, get the play that you want dialed up, I think is advantage to University of Georgia right now.
Here comes the call from Matt Moore, the referee.
After further review, the ruling as the pass was incomplete. The ball may return to the 5-yard line, where it will be 3rd down and goal. Please reset the game clock to 38 seconds.
Oh, that's a lot of time. 38 seconds. They added 16 seconds back to the clock. And it's 3rd and goal from the 5, and Georgia has 1 timeout remaining. We send Conley and Bennett out wide to the right. Mitchell to the wide side. That's the near side of the field. We work between the hashes on the 5. 3rd and goal. Mason's in the shotgun. Chubb's in the backfield with him. We bring Blazevich in motion. Back and forth behind the line. There's the snap. They run it to Chubb. Chubb at the 5 breaks a tackle. 4, 3. Oh, down at the 3-yard line. They brought him down. He ripped through the first tackle, but he had 2 white shirts on him, riding him to the turf. Damon Smith got the stop for Georgia Tech. Here's the play of the game. 22 seconds, clock ticking down. Tech's going to call a timeout, stop the clock with 22 seconds, leading by 4, and 4th and goal coming up from the 3-yard line.
30-second timeout.
Well, the Dogs tried to run a little counter play, rolling Hudson Mason out and handling that football underneath to Nick Chubb. Good strong run there by Nick as Tech had it well defended. And here we are, boy, 4th and 3. 1 play left in this football game. Or at least 1 play left for the Dogs in this football game. See if we can make this crowd here decked out in red and black very happy.
Coming down to the final ticks in the 4th quarter. Georgia Tech took the lead for the first time in the game on its last score, an 8-yard run by Lasky. First time they have led all day. They've controlled the game here in the second half, but Georgia's trying to win it. Sneak out of here with a victory and win their 6th in a row over Georgia Tech. It's 4th and goal from the 3 on the near hash, moving to our left. There's David Andrews and Pike and Cubano and Houston and Theus, our offensive line. Mitchell and Conley and Bennett, our receivers. Blazevich is the tight end. Chubb's in the backfield. Hudson Mason's the quarterback. He'll work out of the shotgun. Here it is. Here's the ball game. Last play. Mitchell in motion across the formation to the right. Here comes Tech. Mason going to throw right. Hey! Mitchell caught it! Touchdown in the end zone! Malcolm Mitchell caught it! Touchdown! Touchdown!
Boy, what a great catch there by Malcolm Mitchell. Able to go up, ran a little out route in traffic again, and just got blown up when he caught it, but strong enough to hold on to it. And no plays bigger than that one. The Dogs somehow find a way to take the lead in this football game.
Malcolm Mitchell's going to have a story to tell in his next book club meeting. He caught the winning touchdown against Georgia Tech. Here's the point after try by Marshall Morgan. That touchdown brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book now at southwest.com. Point after try is good by Marshall. Icing on the cake brought to you by Tasty Cake. 24-21, 18 seconds to go. Well, the offense got the job done.
Boy,
but 18 seconds remain, so we're not out of the woods yet.
And I'll tell you, second half has just been completely dominated by Tech. We opportunistic when Justin Thomas goes to fake the pass, puts the football on the ground. We recover it and then just march down the field, find a way to regain the lead in this football game.
Georgia goes 69 yards in 12 plays, knocking off 2:23 on the clock. They leave 18 seconds of change on the scoreboard right now. A 3-yard scoring strike from Hudson Mason and Malcolm Mitchell on 4th and goal from the 3. You talk about cool under pressure.
No doubt.
And as you said, Zeke, Malcolm got blown up in the end zone when he caught that joker, but he hung on. He got hit from 2 different directions about 3 different times. Georgia will kick it away here. 18 seconds to go. The Dogs have taken the lead by 3. Marshall Morgan has it teed up on the 35. The small gathering of Tech fans here in the largely red cloud crowd here at Sanford Stadium, sitting quietly with their heads in their hands at this point. Here's the kick by Marshall Morgan. He's going to squib it. He's going to take a high bounce. Comes down at the 27-yard line. Tech returning it across the 40 to the 43-yard line. 13 seconds to go. Oh, that's too close for comfort right there.
That it is. Squib kick, goodness. You want to get it past and at least through that second line of defense. Tech now.
Oh, on the 43.
43-yard line, 13 seconds left.
Anthony Harrell returned it for Tech. They just need a field goal to tie. It's 13 ticks left on the clock. They've only thrown 2 passes here in this half, and they haven't completed either one of them. On the 43-yard line for Georgia Tech, 13 seconds to go. Georgia leads it 24-21. 3 receivers in a bunch formation to the right, 1 to the left. Thomas drops back, sets up, looks downfield. Now he takes off. 50, 45, 40, runs to the sideline, out of bounds at the 37-yard line. 4 seconds to go. They've got time for maybe 1 play.
Boy, just way too much there. We only rushed 3. He had 1 guy in a spy position. But you're right, way too much yardage picked up there.
Well, this would be a 50-plus yard field goal should they try it. Butker's long this season is 46. Looks like they're going to give it a shot. Line of scrimmage is the 36-yard line. He'll kneel down, the holder will, on the 43. 53-yard kick to try to tie it from the far hash, kicking to the right.
And he's kicking with the wind right now.
We blocked 1 today, and now a timeout. I think Georgia called the timeout.
Georgia, that's their last timeout in the half. 30 seconds.
We're out of time. They're out of time. And there's only 4 seconds of time left. 24-21. Oh, my goodness. I wish we'd kicked it deeper.
Or at least gotten the squib through everybody else.
Got it down inside the 20. Dog fans are praying for a miss here. Or a block. Could we get a second block? 24-21. Georgia takes the lead. 14 seconds ago on a 4th down and goal play from the 3 when Hudson Mason found Malcolm Mitchell 1.5 yards deep in the end zone. And now we're trying to hang on for our lives again. Tech trying to tie the game and force overtime. 4 seconds to go. They're going to try almost a 54-yard field goal. Harrison Butker to try to kick it. Here's the snap and the hold. The kick is away. Does it have leg? I think it is. Good! Oh, my God! He made it!
Boy, he made it by about 1 inch, too.
Overtime for the first time in school history at Sanford Stadium. First ever overtime game. Oh, my goodness. A 53.5-yard field goal to force overtime for Butker. Ugh.
Well, I'll tell you what, the kickoff there just put him in too good a shape. They had the ball at the 43-yard line. 1 big play, 1 big scramble by Justin Thomas gets him into that field goal position. Just heartbreaking there for the Dogs. See if we can rebound and find a way to grab a little of that energy and momentum we had on that touchdown that gave us the lead.
Unreal. Well, they'll do another coin toss to start the overtime period. First ever overtime game between the hedges. Dogs and Tech went to overtime in Atlanta last year. We liked the outcome of that one pretty well. I don't believe it. 18 seconds remained after Georgia took the lead, and Tech gets a 53-yard game-tying field goal. 24-24 as we go to overtime.
Boy, just a game of so many missed opportunities. You had a couple of fumbles where we were going in on the goal line. We had the blocked field goal. We blocked one of those as well. Somehow find a way to get the lead with 18 seconds left, and to have it come down to a game-tying field goal like that, boy, it just makes you scratch your head. Oh.
Georgia 6-4 all-time in overtime. And as we mentioned, beat Georgia Tech in their most recent extra session effort last year, winning 41-34 in double overtime in Atlanta. They also beat Tennessee in overtime in Knoxville last year, 34-31. So we go to overtime for the first time ever in Athens. And let's send it down to Chuck Dowdle on the field for the overtime coin toss. Chuck?
Okay, Matt Moore has just called captains out here for both teams. Once again, Tech will be making the call on the coin as the visiting team. Unbelievable that this is 2 years in a row that we've done this. Here's Matt Moore.
Shake hands, guys. Hey, great game. Great game. We're going to overtime, okay? Each team gets a timeout, okay? So you get to add one timeout. Then we're going to flip a coin. Winner of the toss can play offense, can play defense, or choose end of the field, okay? We're going to let the visitors call the toss. We've got, again, a coin with a head or a tail. What do you want to call it? He called a what? It is a head.
We want to defend.
We want to play defense. There you go. Play on that end. Okay, so.
All right, we're going to the east end. Georgia's going to play defense. That's the right way to do it,
Georgia,
because now you will know what you've got to get after they have their possession. Scott, we can't get it on anymore in this, buddy.
You're right about that. Let's get it on in overtime. 24-24. Georgia will be on defense first. Tech will have the football. They'll start at the 25-yard line. We're done with the game clock. That's a thing of the past. The play clock is still in effect, of course. Wow, what a finish in regulation anyway.
Boy, that it was. And after that ending that just kind of zapped this crowd of energy, see if we can get a little bit of noise back in this place.
Holy smokes. All right. How about a turnover to start it, and then we'll get the ball and go to town. All right, here's Tech at the 25 in overtime. 24 apiece. Thomas, handoff, Lasky, a quick 5, maybe 6, 7 yards. Down to the 19-yard line, they'll give him 6. Right at right guard, right tackle, Carter with a stop for Georgia, the freshman from Norcross. Second down, 4 for the Jackets.
Boy, just way too much of that big offensive line from Georgia Tech. Just has our defensive line on skates.
Tech up to the line. Second down in overtime. Lasky again bounces outside. Lasky tries to pull away at the 15. We got enough of him to trip him up around the 13. Again, Lorenzo Carter. They're working on that right side of the line of scrimmage. Their right, our left. Lasky down to the 12, 11 and a half. They got a first down. First possession of overtime. Tech with the ball first.
Boy, and just 2 dive plays to start off. That first read of the triple option. Big gaping holes for them to run through.
Lasky with 136 yards rushing for Tech today. He's killed us. And they're going to pitch it this time to Hill on the near side. Hill down to the 5 before he runs into Dominic Sanders, the freshman. Deion Hill, the senior. Well, that was Perkins, 21, not 31.
Tech can still get a first down here. They carry it just inside the 2-yard line. It'll give them a fresh set of downs.
Back into the ball, the nose of the football touching the 5. First possession of the overtime. Tech 5 yards away from a touchdown and to take the lead again. We're tied at 24. Tech kicked the 53-yarder with no time left to send it to overtime. Handoff, Lasky runs straight ahead. We tackle him up high around the 2 and just drive him back with Ray Drew wrapping his arms up around the headgear of Lasky. Forward progress to 2.5, maybe the 3-yard line.
Boy, that was a pretty
third down and short there. They can, as you said, Z, they can get a first down, but it's third and about a half a yard now.
Yeah, pretty good spot there for Georgia Tech as Lasky ran into a brick wall of Georgia Bulldogs, but now they're about a football length away from a new set of downs.
Boy, you get a stop here, you make them make a choice. Third down, less than a yard. Tech on the Georgia 3 here in overtime. Handoff, Lasky got the first down, may have gotten the touchdown. He did, yeah. Fell over the pile and fell into the end zone for the score. And Georgia Tech leads it 30-24. The point after try on the way, and now Georgia knows it needs a touchdown to keep this thing going.
Boy, can we answer again? So much energy comes out of you when you think you've won a football game. It is tough to get back out there and get after it again.
Here's the hero of the moment for Tech, Harrison Butker, to try the point after. Snap in the hole. The kick is blocked! We blocked the extra point! Ho ho! Door open once again. We blocked the extra point. Second blocked kick of the day. Did Drew get that one again? Ray Drew again. He blocked the field goal earlier.
Boy, what a game that young man has had today. A lot of work here left to do for the Dogs, though, but you're right. The door is open if we can find a way to punch it in.
Dogs got to have a touchdown, and then you got to convert the point to win the game. Georgia's possession will begin in a matter of seconds at the 25-yard line. Georgia Tech 30, Georgia 24, overtime number 1. But the blocked extra point by Ray Drew has perhaps left the door ajar for the Bulldogs. 3 receivers left, Chubb in the backfield, work out of the shotgun. Handoff Chubb, he runs wide to the right with blockers. Chubb down to the 20 and knocked to the turf there after a 5-yard gain. He jumps over Greg Pike, who was out on the right edge blocking. Quayshawn Neely made the stop for Georgia Tech. It's a gain of 5. Second down and 5 for Georgia.
Just a zone read there from the Dogs. Get it into the hands of your workhorse and let him do his thing. Nice, good pickup there on first down.
Chubb with 128 yards today rushing. Andrews over the ball, snaps it to Mason. Handoff to Chubb. Chubb going to be stopped for no gain and maybe a half a yard loss. Now it's going to be third down. He lost a little bit back to the 21. Gotsis and Freeman jam up the hole for Georgia Tech.
We went right back to the well. Same exact play on second down. That time, Tech just snuffed it out.
He got 2 plays to get 6 yards. Third down and 6 from the 21. We're in overtime and the Dogs trail. Snap to Mason. Looks left, throws it quick, and it's caught. Conley first down at the 11 or 12. Chris Conley, Mr. Reliable, ran in on a slant from the left edge, and Mason delivered a strike, and the ball's on the 10. It's first and goal from the 10.
Boy, did he ever. Really good coverage there by Georgia Tech, but Hudson again right on target, and Chris Conley made no doubt about securing that ball for the first down.
11-yard pickup on the pass play. First and goal for the Dogs. We're down 6. We need a touchdown and an extra point to win. Handoff Chubb, looking for a hole. Chubb runs left, and they'll stack it up at about the 9.5. Blazevich was out there blocking, but couldn't get enough of a block to get Chubb a seam. And number 27 tried to cut in behind it, and Tech closed the gap and held Nick to about a yard.
Boy, Chubb there made that cut just a hair too late and ended up running in to his tight end, Blazevich, and stopped his forward momentum.
Keishan Freeman, the left end over there, made the tackle. Second and goal from the 9.5 for the Dogs. We got to punch it in. Mason in the shotgun. 2 receivers right. Fake it and throw. Oh, and it's intercepted by Tech. Tech picked it off. We're trying to go to Malcolm Mitchell. Tech has won the ball game. Tech has beaten Georgia in overtime, 30-24. They're all over the field. They intercepted it at the 5. We were trying to go to Malcolm Mitchell in heavy coverage. Tech's got players laying on the G, rolling around on the grass, running in the end zone down to our left, taunting our fans.
Boy,
the score has been wiped off the scoreboards, except for the big one, but 30-24 in overtime. Tech's the winner.
Yeah, valiant effort there by the Dogs to find a way to take the lead with 18 seconds left. And, boy, just complete disappointment and a stunned crowd here on that last play. We faked the zone read, tried to go to Malcolm Mitchell in the slant. Tech had inside position out at cornerback, and we could just never get inside and gain leverage there. And boy, what a tough way to end this game. What a tough way to end the regular season.
DJ White is the player that intercepted it, a junior cornerback. Stepped in front of the pass intended for Malcolm Mitchell and picked it off. And Georgia Tech has won a shocker here in Athens, 30-24 in overtime. Stay tuned for the post-game show. AT&T Call of the Game coming up next. Bulldog Sports Network from IMG. Mason in the shotgun. 2 receivers right. Fake it and throw. Oh, and it's intercepted by Tech. Tech picked it off. We're trying to go to Malcolm Mitchell. Tech has won the ball game.
And there is your AT&T call of the game. Folks, we had seemingly snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, and then at the last second turned around and tossed her right back into defeat's jaws as Georgia Tech wins here today, 30-24. The AT&T call of the game with the speed and reliability of AT&T 4G LTE. You can post, stream, and upload with confidence. AT&T, building you a better network. We'll come back with Scott Howard, Eric Zier, Coach Rick, Chuck Dowdle, and talk about today's very, very, very difficult loss as Tech wins it here in Athens, 30-24 in one overtime. This is the Bulldog Sports Network from IMG.
This is the Regions Bank Locker Room Report. Regions Bank, official bank of the SEC. Today's show is also brought to you in part by Kroger, great food, low prices. By Serve Pro, fire and water damage cleanup and restoration. Serve Pro, like it never even happened. By Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance. Contact them at gfb.org. Southwest Airlines. And by Allstate Insurance. Are you in good hands? Now back to the stadium once again. Here's Neil Hondo Williamson.
Well, thank you for not shutting off the radio in I don't want to say disgust, because it isn't disgust. We fought hard and went to overtime and rallied, but it's a tough loss for the Dogs today. 30-24 in overtime to Georgia Tech, from exhilaration with 13 seconds left to exasperation as we squib a kickoff, and Tech has pretty good field position, scrambles for a long gainer, and then kicks a 53-yarder at the end of regulation to tie things up, and then winning here in overtime on an interception as Georgia was trying to crack that end zone, win this thing. Anyway, this week's game ball recipient is 15-year-old Alex Lewandowski from Marietta. When Alex was 9 years old, he was diagnosed with chronic ITP. That's a blood disorder that hinders the production of platelets in your cells. Now, without enough platelets, bleeding can occur inside the body, which causes severe bruising on the skin. Since his diagnosis in 2008, Alex has been receiving infusions to level out his platelets at the Aflac Cancer Center Blood and Disorders Center. His family is hopeful that a new drug in development will be a cure for this disorder. Alex attends Lassiter High School. He's a member of the ROTC, and his favorite subject is Spanish. At home, he loves spending time with his dog Nala and going to the movies with his family. His family also enjoys going to Braves games and visiting Athens, where Alex's 2 siblings attend UGA. Alex, we hope you enjoy this autographed football from UGA's coach Mark Richt. Go Dogs, Alex. We're all pulling for you, buddy. Through the Children's Miracle Network, Kroger has agreed to donate $13,500 today to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Our season total from Kroger, $184,000 this year. All right, we have has Coach Rick down in the locker room. Let's throw it down to Chuck and Coach Rick. Chuck.
Thanks a lot, Hondo. I can't tell you, how disappointed the locker room is, how disappointed Coach is, and everyone else. Mark, you've been through a lot of these. You've last year was overtime, and you've seen some other crazy ones with Georgia Tech. And let me just get your thoughts on this one.
Well, I'm very proud of our players and how they played heroically, and just disappointed the way it ended. Disappointed in my decision to squib the kick. Gave him enough field position to have a chance to get in range and kick it, and it was just a poor decision on my part, and no one's decision but mine.
I know you well enough to know, though, that there's solid reasoning behind when you do something, and the reason has to be that you don't want to risk a big return.
Yeah, but we were covering kicks good all night, and there's a possibility that could happen, but you should be able to get the guy on the ground. And we've been doing it all day, so just really a bad decision right there.
You made some other decisions in the game, though. You disdained, kicking field goals to go for touchdowns, and you showed a lot of confidence in the offense, and you did that right from the get-go. Was there a feeling early on that you were going to need touchdowns to win this game?
Well, that's usually the case. That's usually the case in a game like this, but. There were calculated risks. There were things that we believed we could get done, and we took those risks, and most of the times they worked.
Did you feel like in the second half that just time of possession on their part, they just really wore the defense down?
Well, there was a lot of time of possession, and then they had a long drive, and of course we ripped the ball out and score. So then you got to go play defense again, and that was just part of the game and how it went. When you have a defensive score like that, you end up going to have to line up and do it again. And they did a good job of being methodical, running the ball. But we got stops when we needed to. We just didn't get it done in the end. But you even look at what Ray Drew did on the blasting through on the touchdown to care enough to change the game right there. I mean, you get it to 6, and we get in the end zone and kick the extra point. We win the game because he was still fighting to the finish, and just a tremendous effort by Ray.
What did it look like on the final play as to what Hudson may have seen?
We were just throwing a slant route, and the guy jumped it. Did a good job of undercutting it.
In the second half, they did a much better job against Nick Chubb. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, they did. They played well. The goal line plays were just very interesting today. We fumbled twice down there. We rip a ball out and score a touchdown. Goal line offense really for both teams struggled at times, and just kind of unusual in that way. But overall, again, I just really proud of our players and coaches and the job they did.
All right, Coach, we're going to take a break. I'll let you take a break, talk to some folks here, and we'll come back, Hondo, and wrap this up.
All right, thank you, Chuck. Regions Bank is a proud sponsor of the University of Georgia and the official bank of the SEC, and also the official sponsor of this postgame and locker room show. More with Coach Rick and Chuck Dowdle down in the locker room following these words. Tech wins today in overtime, 30-24. This is the Bulldog Sports Network from IMG. Welcome back to the Regions Bank Locker Room Show. Scott Howard, Eric Zier, Neil Williamson, and Chuck Dowdle down in the locker room with Coach Rick. Chuck?
Thanks, Hondo. Coach, you mentioned that that you kind of felt going in that, touchdowns were going to be needed. And the one time you did have to kick a field goal came after a fake field goal. Was that a play you'd worked on thinking it might work against these guys?
We talking about the fake? Yeah, it was a we knew if they came hard off that edge, there'd be a good chance to get it. And as it turned out, it worked for us. Unfortunately, didn't score a touchdown, but it did put us in a lot better shape when we did kick the field goal. So, it was, again, another calculated risk, but one that we had repped and had faith in, and they executed it well.
Malcolm Mitchell really had a terrific game today. You can talk a little bit about, he's been through so much, but for him to come out and play the way he did.
Yeah, Malcolm played well, but we had a lot of guys play well. We had a lot of guys play with a lot of heart and soul, and got ourselves in position to win it, and just so proud of how everybody played. And just a shame it ended the way it did.
And that final drive, you got the ball on the turnover. The final drive down there. Did you feel like that things were going pretty well at that particular point because Hudson was hitting some passes and you got a little bit of the running game back again?
Well, we knew if you got the ball again with enough time, we'd have a chance to score, and sure enough, we did. It was a very dramatic drive and one where we scored on fourth down and looked like the game was over, but obviously it wasn't.
Before I let you go, whenever a season comes to a dramatic conclusion like this, and they always stop before you want them to, but you've got some time off. You do know there'll be another game down the road here. We don't know where, we don't know when, but we do know we'll be playing again. So what will be the plan from here?
Well, everybody will be, getting back to school and finishing up this semester, maybe getting some running and lifting in, and then we will also have an opportunity to get on the road recruiting now and try to finish up this class.
Coach, appreciate you, and sorry about the outcome of this one. I know we're all heartbroken, but like you said, we got a lot to be proud of with these young men in that locker room.
No doubt, and the fans and our students and everybody did their part, and I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you so much, Hondo. Coach Rick, telling you that these kids did play hard and played with a lot of heart, and it was heartbreaking to lose that way, and losses are never easy, but one like that really hurts.
Yeah, this series has seen some crazy games, and this one will certainly go down with a bunch of the other ones, including you think back to the 51-48 game, which was so nuts in '99 that Georgia Tech was able to win after we blocked a field goal, but it was on third down, and they recovered beyond the line of scrimmage. Yada, yada, yada. But the Dogs lose it today, 30-24, despite having the lead with 13 seconds left in the game. Georgia unable to hang on as Tech wins. Thank you, Chuck. Great job in the locker room today, Chuck, with Coach Rick. It's never easy to go down there and handle those interviews either as the interviewer or interviewee. Regions Bank is a proud sponsor of the University of Georgia and the official bank of the SEC. And if you want to go to the SEC Championship, you could win tickets through the Regions Road to ATL sweepstakes. Enter today at the Regions Bank Facebook page. No purchase necessary. Proud sponsor of the University of Georgia and the official bank of the SEC. More to come from Athens following these words. This is the Bulldog Sports Network from IMG. Welcome back. Try it again. Take two. Welcome back to Athens and our Regions Bank Locker Room Show. Time for us to select a Texaco star player of the game, and it's difficult when you have guys like Rameek Wilson and Amarlo Herrera who turned in 19 tackles each, but we picked a different defender today, right, fellas?
Yeah.
You pretty good with that?
Yeah, we're real good with that. The pastor of disaster had a terrific game. Ray Drew, one of the seniors on this team, playing his last game here in Athens. The thing that jumps out is not his tackle total, but the fact that he blocked 2 kicks blocked the field goal, and then he blocked an extra point, which left the door open for Georgia to perhaps win the game in overtime. But he had 9 tackles on top of that. We didn't have many tackles behind the line of scrimmage, and that's because of what Tech does. They're always moving forward. They don't do a whole lot of lateral stuff. They do run that option, but usually they've got a pretty good head of steam and momentum, and they get positive yards when they run the football. But Ray Drew had a solid day on defense with 9 tackles and 2 block kicks.
Yeah, he really did, and the 2 block kicks really could have been tide turners for this football game, especially there in overtime. And just unfortunately for the Dogs, couldn't find a way to punch it in there in the end. But Ray, really nice way to end his career.
Yes, indeed. So Ray Drew, our Texaco star player of the game. Football fans love a great drive to the end zone, and drivers love a great drive on the road. So always fill up with Texaco with Techron for great performance you can count on. Texaco with Techron, driving performance. All right, thank you, gentlemen. We'll come back with more with Eric Zier, Scott Howard, after these words on the Bulldog Sports Network from IMG. Well, I was going to make fun of those Georgia fans who left, when Tech was marching down the field before their quarterback coughed it up and a bunch of Georgia fans left. And I was going to say, man, you can't give up on your team. And I'm glad we didn't. Most of the fans stayed and did a great job of supporting the Bulldogs, as Coach Richt was saying earlier. Unfortunately, Georgia unable to win it today as Tech wins it in overtime, 30-24. Scott, Eric, this was one wacky game when you really think about the block kicks and the fake field goals, and Georgia inside the 5-yard line 3 times and unable to score touchdowns, and the play by Justin Thomas where he's pulling the ball down. I always think it was shades of Reggie Ball there, just a quarterback doing something crazy. Yeah. Same end of the field that we saw Reggie do that game.
I mean, it was almost as if, when you needed the opportunity, that opportunity arose. And many times, unfortunately, Georgia just didn't take advantage of it. We did something today we hadn't done all season. That's have 3 turnovers in a game, much less inside the 5-yard line, which was Georgia had an opportunity to kind of break this one open early. And who knows? It still could have turned out like this in the end. But we missed some key chances, fumbling at the 1 or the 3, and then on the 1, and Tech recovering in the end zone, and they blocked the field goal, and we blocked the field goal, and there was a little fake field goal, and we get 1st and goal inside the 5, and then we have to settle for 3. So for 3 times, as you were talking about earlier, Neil, we had 3 possessions inside the 5-yard line, 1st and goal, and we came away with 3 points. And we lose by 6 in overtime.
It was a game of shouldas and couldas and all of those mistakes. And still in the end, we find ourselves up with 18 seconds left to go in the game. We decide to pooch the kickoff. And so you can talk about, and you heard Coach Rick kind of fall on the sword around decision-making there. I've seen hundreds of games where you pooch that kick and it's able to get through that second line of defense, and all of a sudden you limit any kind of return, and you end up in good shape. Unfortunately for us, that didn't happen. They get the big quarterback scramble that puts them into field goal range, and one of the couldas or shouldas was the kick clears the crossbar by a couple of inches, but still it was good, and puts Tech into overtime. And it's really hard as a football team to be able to bounce back after you thought you'd won the game. All of that emotion just coming out of every player there on the sideline, and you find yourself having to go back in and fight. And unfortunately for the Dogs, couldn't pull it out.
Well, they got a 16-yard return on that pooch. So you look at these yards, and that could have come down if they had 1 yard less in that possession.
They don't make that field goal.
Maybe the field goal doesn't go through, but they had 16 yards on the return by Harrell. They start at the 43, and then Thomas had a 21-yard run. He scrambles out of bounds at the 36-yard line, and that's where it lined up for the 53-yard kick. So it's just so close, and you think what could have been and maybe what should have been, and that possession certainly came down to a matter of yards and inches, and Butker nailed the kick. He got it just over the crossbar and a 53-yard boomer under pressure with, if you miss it, you go home losers. And if you win it, well, that's what happened for them.
Yeah, no question about it.
Or if you make it, then you have a chance to win it, and that's what happened.
Right. Tech with so many heroes for them today, Butker being one. Of course, Lasky with the fine game there in the second half, just plowing through us over and over. Again, something that I said to you guys off mic earlier was the Tech players who ran down Georgia players at the 3, at the 1, at the 1, rather than giving up on plays. So Nick Chubb on a 65, 66-yard run gets bumped out at the 1-yard line. If that guy doesn't come down and make that play, Georgia would have had a touchdown there. Sony Michel, as he was going in for the touchdown, somebody knocked him out at the 1. And he fumbled the ball there into the end zone. And then on the fake field goal, they were able to tackle Marshall Morgan down on the 3-yard line and give Tech credit for never quitting in this game on a number of different plays where they could have just coasted. And I guess that's the example for all you kids out there. Okay, so we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Bulldog Sports Network from IMG. We could break this thing down some more, but it was pretty depressing for Dogs fans. When you have that win right in your hand with 13 seconds left. What a catch by Malcolm Mitchell! Nice ball delivered by Hudson Mason, and a great drive there at the end that Georgia was able to come down and complete and execute and score the 6 and get the extra point. And unfortunately, we coughed it up there at the end. So the regular season ends here with a 30-20 overtime loss. Any final thoughts before we get out of here, gentlemen? Scott?
Well, we were 5 yards short again. We've been that route before.
I thought of that too.
5 yards short as they picked it at the 5 in overtime, and that was White's 4th interception of the year. But just I don't know how else to describe it. It's just disappointing because Georgia had so many prime opportunities to score points, and we just left too many unanswered points. I don't know how to express it, but you just left points. In basketball, it's like, well, you left a lot of points on the table, or whatever the expression is, but we didn't score as many as we should have. I guess it's the right way to say it.
Well, and you think about early in this football game where we just kept them in the game because of the fumbles there at the goal line. This could have easily been a 21-0, 21-3 lead, 21-7 lead that we really could have just put this game on ice very early on. Then you force a Tech team to have to throw the football that's not better at throwing the football, but they're still not. That's not their bread and butter.
Right.
If they're relying on that, they're going to be in for a long afternoon, and we just couldn't put them away. We kept them in it, and then you got into the second half, and you can just see all of the cut blocks, all of the big bodies on our defensive line begin to wear us down and eventually take over the football game. I mean, they had, 400-plus yards rushing the football, and it's
399.
That's
might as well be 400.
Might as well be 400, and really controlled the clock. And boy, just a disappointing way to finish out the regular season. And the hard part is for everybody in that locker room downstairs is you don't get a chance to bounce back next week. That's what makes this game so important for everybody. Is you want those bragging rights, throughout the year, and you're not going to get them this year, and you don't have a chance to bounce back really quick. You're going to have to wait a month and see where we land in the bowl games.
Yep. All right, gentlemen, great job today. Difficult game to call, difficult game to listen to or to watch, and you know what? We'll mourn for 24 hours and then pick up and move on. That's all we have for you this afternoon from our Regions Bank Locker Room show from Sanford Stadium. We'd like to thank our entire on-air broadcast crew and on-site broadcast crew, Scott Howard and Eric Zier with the play-by-play and analysis of the Bulldogs, Chuck Dowdle with sideline and locker room reports and interviews, our producer-engineer all season, and, of course, this week, right here between the hedges, is Tony Schiavone. Chris Schiavone is my co-spotter. Drew Branyon back in the Bulldog studio, producing and providing scoreboard updates. Adam Witten, producer. Jay Black, statistician. Coming up next, Jeff Dantzler and Kevin Butler with Dog Talk postgame. Our next broadcast will be from a bowl game. Site, date, time, all to be determined. Thank you for making the Bulldogs on the radio part of your day. We wish you and yours a blessed and safe holiday season, and we'll talk to you sometime in late December or early January as far as play-by-play goes. Of course, we'll talk to you Monday night on the talk shows as well. Final score from Sanford Stadium, 30-24, Georgia Tech in overtime over the Dogs. This is Neil Hondo Williamson. Good night and go Dogs from the Bulldogs Sports Network and IMG.